Shalom, shalom. Giving all honor and praise to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Shah. We are the Battle Axes of the Most High. Come to you on the Sabbath class to get edified in the Lord's name. Going into a Q&A today. Right? Hope brothers and sisters had a good week. Hope brothers and sisters been reading. I don't know if y'all been reading. Guess what? Y'all understanding what y'all been reading? Right? There's plenty of stuff that I guess we kind of need to really be touching on. But we hope brothers and sisters, man, be in the right spirit. Especially coming in towards a new year. Hope that brothers and sisters examine themselves, knowing that you're supposed to be trying to get the leavening out your house. Right? Get the leavening out your spiritual house. Right? But any brothers and sisters got any questions before we go into just any kind of subject today? Y'all got no questions of what y'all been reading or nothing, right? No questions at all. What you got, twin?
Deuteronomy 14. I get like the middle part, but like the last of the verse.
Let's go there. The book of Deuteronomy. He asked about the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 1. Can you get y'all guys read?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 1. Ye are the children of the Lord your God. Ye shall not cut yourself,
Right?
nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
What you think that means? Well, give me what y'all think that's going into?
Yeah, but brothers should know these
For real.
Let me say, like, it's like going into tattoos, but
It's going to tattoo, but you know, sometimes Esau, they like to cut themselves too. You know, they go into the crazy, you know. You gotta have that. Get in a rubber room with padding on the wall. What you got, Ehud?
well, the cut between the eyes is like shaving your face completely.
Shaving your face. That's what that's going into, shaving your face. Let's get there in Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5. Get y'all, let's read it.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 21, verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
Going into the same thing that he's reading in Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 1. Get that other one in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 27. And we're going to read verse 27 and 28. Let's get answer this question too.
Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your head,
Read.
neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Read on.
Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead,
Goes into the same thing. Read.
nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord.
Y'all see that? This said, so you know that's going into tattoo. Said, nor printing marks on you. So we print marks on you, you make it what? A tattoo.
For the dead. You get the rest in peace tattoo.
Right? Get Christ on you. Guess a lot of brothers got, hey, you just got to repent for that thing, man. Right.
Let's get First Kings right quick. Get another count with Elijah. With the cuttings, even like Ak was going into, they said you got one set of cuttings for idolatry. You wasn't wrong, Brother Fred, but we say we want you to kind of simplify it even more. You know, because they do go into another type of cuttings as well. I don't know if brothers and sisters seen that movie, what's it called, with Tom Hanks? Supposedly Christ had descendants. What is that called? Damn, what is that movie called?
Angel and demons.
Yeah, thanks. Angels and Demons. So I don't know if y'all remember on there, you had this albino, this Edomite, he would whip himself, you know, going into zealots, people that are zealous. But we know that don't pertain to him because he'll eat him out.
I guess everybody's phone will go off today.
Who was that? Mama Rod jamming that?
Not today. Man. Mama Ron said, no, not today.
1 Kings chapter 18 and verse 26. So y'all know this is going proving that our God is the one true God when brothers read it in context. Read this out. Verse 26.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 26. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal.
Of who?
Of Baal.
Touching similar to what Captain Yard. Read on up.
From morning even until noon, saying, O Baal.
Oh, who?
O Baal.
An idol God. Read on up.
Hear us. But there was no voice.
But there was what?
But there was no voice.
Read on up.
Nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made.
Read on up.
And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them.
He did what?
Elijah mocked them.
So guess what? When we be out there on the corners, guess what? It's okay to mock Christianity. They always say that. No, we mocking them because we know that that's a false religion. Read on up.
And that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud.
Do what?
Cry aloud.
Meaning pray harder for your false gods. Read on up.
For he is a God. Either he is talking or he is pursuing.
Invention, man.
Hey, you can tell our people
Sense of humor, man.
a great sense of humor.
For real.
Read on up.
Either he is talking or he is pursuing.
Maybe he's doing something to where he can't hear you. Maybe he's busy right now. Read on up.
Or he is in a journey.
Oh, he's on a journey. He's taking a far journey. Read on up.
Or peradventure he's sleeping.
Or he what?
Peradventure he's sleeping.
Maybe your God is taking a day off. Read on up.
It must be awake.
And must be what?
It must be awake.
Verse 28 is the point. Read on.
And they cried loud.
And they did what?
And they cried
So
loud.
they cried even louder, meaning praying harder. Read on.
And cut themselves.
And did what?
And cut
So
themselves.
now they're going into what? Cutting themselves for this false deity. Read on up.
After their manner, with knives.
With what?
With knives. And lanterns.
Man, you can see those zealots. You look these things up online all the time, man. When you see these people parade, cutting themselves as if they doing it in the name of Christ. You know, nowhere in the Bible does Christ tell us to do those things, man. Nowhere. Read on up.
Till the blood gushed out upon them.
Till blood gushed out upon them, man. So when y'all seeing this, man, these things go back to ancient times. Them worshiping Baal. Go ahead.
Any other brothers, sisters, got any more questions? You got something out?
Ezekiel 16, like verses 12, 15.
Let's get that right quick. He asked the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4.
16.
My bad. Ezekiel 16, verses 4 through 10. But basically, like my question was like could you use that like as a history from the beginning all the way through? Like, would that correlate with it? Because it was saying, the nativity, like where they were born at, how they were raised up, raised in the idol way, and not of the Most High.
Let's read it.
Come, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 4.
Start at verse 1.
Come, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, Thus saith the Lord God unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan.
So guess what? The Lord said, our birth and our nativity, meaning that the Lord gave us the land of Canaan. So that was our people was born there, right? Read it.
Is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite.
Right? Because those are lands that we had the war. If you go into the book of Joshua and you'll see all the wars that we fought You'll see we had to fight against the Amorites. You see we had to fight against the Canaanites, the Hittites, man, the Jebusites. We had to fight against a lot of people, right? Going even to the battle of Jericho, going in the battle of Ai, all of our ancestors, we was fighting the wars, right? But read
Verse 4.
keep in mind what it says. It says that our fathers are Amorite and mother are Hittite. Going into that we was, if you go up a little bit higher in that verse, it said the birth and thy nativity, right? Not meaning that our mother and father really is a Hittite or Amorite, meaning that we was just literally born in those lands, in that native land. But read.
Verse 4. And as for nativity, in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supple thee. Thou was not salted at all, nor swallowed at all.
So meaning that when we go into captivity, when we go into these different lands, guess what? Think about how we are when we going through these, when we in captivity. We can't circumcise on the 8th day, right? We can't, it's a lot of stuff that being taking place, just like a lot of stuff taking place that we try to do, but we cannot do because of our captivity, right? Some people can't even keep the Sabbath day because their jobs won't even let them out, right? But watch it though, read on.
Verse 5. None I pitied thee to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee, but thou was cast out into the open field.
Meaning that we was spread it abroad. The Lord cast us out to open field. Open field goes into the earth or goes into the world, and the Lord casts us out, meaning in the four corners, right? But read.
To the loathing of thy person in the day that thou was born.
In the day that we was born. Right? Read.
And when I passed by thee and saw thee polluted in thy own blood.
The Lord said he saw us polluted in our own blood, right? Read.
I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live.
So when we was, guess what? When we was being born, just like it's going into a baby. When a baby's in that mother, the Lord said when you was in your blood, meaning when you was in your mother's stomach, right? Telling us to live, read.
Yea, I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live.
Right? Because the Lord knew you before you was born, man. Right? Read on.
I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field.
Right? Because the Lord told us to be fruitful and multiply, man. All these is going into precept upon precept, man. Right? Read.
And thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thine hair is grown, whereas thou was naked and bare.
Right? Meaning that we was in sin, right? But read.
Now when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love, and I had spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness.
And the Lord covered our nakedness because what? He gave nations for us. Right? Read.
Yea, I swore unto thee and entered into a covenant with thee, said the Lord God, and thou becamest mine.
And what covenants did he had? Do any brothers know? He sworn of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? This is the covenant that he gave to, guess what? Not just through that, but Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The covenant that he gave with Noah, the covenant that he gave with King David. These are the covenants that the Lord literally gave for our nation, that we can see a sign of what's to come and what's to come after. Right? Read.
Then, verse 9, then washed I thee with water. Yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil.
Right? Meaning that the Lord made us a nation of priesthood, man. But go ahead.
I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin, and I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk.
Right, read.
I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck.
Because that's how we roll, read.
And I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears.
Because guess what? That means the Lord said he literally put earrings in our ears. So that means we can wear earrings, right? Read.
And a beautiful crown upon thine head.
Right.
Thus was thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen and silk, embroidered work thou didst eat. So like thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou was exceeding beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom.
Right? Because that's what the Lord made the children of Israel. That's how we ended up prospering to a kingdom. Right? Read.
Verse 14. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty.
Right?
For it was perfect through thy through my comeliness, which I have put upon thee, saith the Lord God.
Why you think the Lord, this basically that's what the Lord saying about the children of Israel, he made us the best of the best. Guess what? Meaning that if we like gold, we like this type of gold, the whole world will like this type of gold. If we like this type of garment, the whole world will like this type of garment. If we say this is beautiful, the whole world will say this is beautiful. Just like even on our wickedness, if we sag our pants, guess what? The whole world gonna sag their pants, man. Right? The Lord literally gave us this certain tribe, which is Israel. He literally gave us the best of the best. So no matter how in captivity or outside of captivity, if what we say is the best, or what we say is good, the whole world's gonna be thinking about this no matter what, right? So that's why you can know the difference between God's people and the heathens, because what we say is the best, that's what everybody else thinks is the best. Go ahead.
Hey, let me get a precept. Let's go to Jeremiah 20 and 14. It's a well-known precept that we pulled. Go back to 16 and 4.
Jeremiah 16 and 4.
Bring it out.
And as for thy nativity in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut.
Thy navel was not cut. So customary when you have a child, the mother, what is that navel not cut? What is that going to? The umbilical cord, right? That cuts you off or severs you from your mother, right? You are now your own being or your own person, right? So Most High told us that our navel was not cut at that time, right? Read on.
Neither was thou washed in water to supple thee.
Because when you're washed in water like that, baby is cleansed right from that birth, right? This is the spiritual aspect of us going into our captivity and being still in servitude, right? Read.
Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all.
Because remember, verse 1, he said what? Cause Jerusalem to know their abominations, right? This is how we are caused to know our abominations. Read Jeremiah 20 and 14.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 20, verse 14.
Bring it out.
Cursed be the day wherein I was born.
Cursed be the day I was born, right? Because you were born into captivity. Remember, the Most High gave us these lands, right? When we, like I said, when we pulled off the victories over the Jebusites and the Hispanics and all these different nations that we won, he gave us the land of Canaan, right? So he gave us that land, but you still born in that land, guess what? A slave, right? Don't get it twisted. Don't think that you ain't that oh, because I gave you this land, that it's gonna be something different now, right? We were still born into the curses that were given to us. That's what verse 4 is saying. So y'all can put that right there. Read that again, verse 4.
Ezekiel 16 and 4. And as for thy nativity in the day that I was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water.
So you wasn't cut off from being just because you in your land, you ain't cut off from still being an Israelite, nigga. You still gonna go through these curses, right? Read.
Neither was thou washed in water to supple thee.
You ain't finna be cleansed from this thing. You born cursed the day you were born. You born into these curses. Read.
Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all.
So that's just a precept you can put right there for verse 4, right? You got anything up? Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, we can go ahead. If y'all want this precept, we can preach it down when y'all want to. I mean, I just want to give them a little understanding. We go back to precept.
Yeah, because like what it got me, because I know that was our land, but we were saying show them their abominations. Because I was thinking if their mother was an Hittite, and the father was an Amorite, and the navel one cut, they was eating of the ways of the other nations.
It goes into that too.
Okay, that's
Down
right.
to verse 5. Even with that, verse 4 that touches on that as well. Read verse 4 again.
Verse 4. And as for thy nativity in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supple thee. To supple thee.
Because we understand that, guess what? What cleanses us? The word. Read on.
Thou was not salted at all.
Because guess what? It's our job to be what? To be seasoned with salt, according to Colossians. So yeah, you can precept that thing all the way down. Read verse 5.
Still like in verse 5. None I pitied thee to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee. But thou was cast out into the open field.
Read on now.
To the loathing of thy person.
Because what? The word loathing means what? Hate. To hate. The other nations round about us hated us, man. Read on now.
In the day that thou was born,
And the day that we was born, the day that we was established as a nation, guess what? These nations hated our guts because they knew that the Most High God was dealing with us, and we were supposed to be contrary to all other nations.
That's right.
You know, that thing is heavy, man. 16 is heavy, man, because that's basically going, it's like a re-chapter of Ezekiel chapter 37, how we was wicked. Most High God started to raise us back up to keep the commandments. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, that's what that was basically what I was asking. Like, could I preset that down like 5, for like 4, 5, and all of that down, like when we was chosen apart from like
That's right.
Genesis 1 and 27, and how we got separated from them at that time, but we still went into seeing that, and going on down all the way through our history, even when we got brought in gold, like during the time of David and all of that, before Joshua.
Let me get another precept. Let's go to the book of Judah, chapter 5, because even Achior, the Ammonite, touches on that as well. So this is something that brothers also can link up with that, him running down this history. The book of Judah, chapter 5, and verse, we'll get straight to the point. Start at verse 6.
The book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 6. This people are descended of the Chaldeans. They sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia.
And what?
In Mesopotamia.
So this Ammonite, or this so-called modern-day Japanese today, is running down the history to the Greeks. Read on out.
Because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea.
So he's giving a history of how Abraham came out of the Chaldees. Read on out.
For they left the way of their ancestors.
We left the way Abraham left his fathers to, guess what? Most High God separated us to give him the land of Israel. Read on.
And worship the God of heaven.
And worship the Most High. Read on out.
The God whom they knew.
Read that again.
The God whom they knew.
Read on.
So they cast them out from their face, from the face of their God.
Read
And they
on.
fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many
Read on.
days. Then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned, and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt.
To go into the land of Canaan. Going into what? The place of our birth. Read on out.
And were increased with gold and silver.
Read on.
And with much, very much cattle.
Going into what Abraham, Most High God blessed them with, then going into Solomon on down to that history. Read on.
But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt and sojourned there, while they were nourished, and became there a great multitude.
So even in between that time, going into what? Jacob and the 12 tribes, and how they, what all that history goes into that. How we went into Egypt, so the Most High God could save us from the famine, raised up Joseph, and so on and so forth. Read verse 10 again.
Verse 10 from the top. But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt and sojourned there, while they were nourished, and became there a great multitude. A great multitude.
And that's also another precept brothers and sisters can use for Revelation 7 and 9. That great multitude. That great multitude is always talking about the children of Israel, man. Read on up.
So that one could not number their nation.
So you want to make sure that you also put that history that he's running down with that as well. Remember, when they talk about us being Amorites, it goes into our nativity, but the Most High God does that to say what? When we acting like Hamites. Niggas, y'all acting like Hamites, man. I know, hey, this is y'all nativity, but that don't mean y'all act like them.
That's right.
Go ahead, Doc.
I'm talking about this right. Yeah, man, that's a wonderful precept. Brothers, who's got some more questions? What you got?
Did you add verse 45 to verse 4, as well as
Verse what 45?
45 in Ezekiel 16 and 45? Also,
You actually,
and
that's
then-
the precept. That,
right, so, and then also with Joshua 24, 14 and 15, go with verse 3. Like 15 would be the point.
Say it again.
Verse 15 would be the point, but 14 and 15, but 15 would be the point for verse 3 of Ezekiel 16 and 30. With that precept.
Joshua, what? Say that again.
24, verse 14 and 15, with 15 being the point.
No. You said would it go with verse 3?
Yeah,
Uh,
verse 15.
History of Susanna 1 verse 56 go with that.
I had that for 45.
That goes with that too.
Okay, cool.
You can put that in verse 3 as well.
Joshua.
24.
uh, any other brothers and sisters got any more questions? Go ahead, see.
Galatians 4:26, Jerusalem is free. What exactly is free? Because we don't have to pay taxes. Is that what make it free?
That's part of it. But yeah, we definitely
Let's go to Galatians 4. Go to verse 26. No, we're gonna jump up. We're gonna jump up to verse 22 just to give the understanding. She asked about Galatians chapter 4, verse 26, but Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. She asked, what is free? Right? Start at verse 22. Read it up.
Test.
The book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 22. For it is written that Abraham had two sons,
Uh-huh.
the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman.
You see how they go so far? You can kind of almost see it a little bit, huh? Right? Read.
Verse 23. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh,
Right? Read.
but he of the free woman was by promise.
Right? Because their free goes into promise. Right? Read.
Which things are an allegory. For these are two covenants. For these are the two covenants. The one from Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage, which is Hagar.
Which is Hagar, right?
For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answereth to Jerusalem, which now is, and is in bondage with her children.
Because this goes to give us a better understanding. So when we read verse 26,
Verse 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is mother of us all.
which is the mother of us all, which goes into is free, goes into the promise, which is you got Ishmael and you got Isaac. You got one by the handmaid and one by the wife, right? So the free child, the child is free is gonna be the child of the promise, which was Isaac, right? Read on.
Verse 27. For it is written, rejoice thou barren that bearest not. Break forth and cry, though thou travailest not. For the desolate had many more children than she which had a husband.
Right? And the desolate did. Go, just think about it. Everybody that Abraham, all the children that Abraham had wasn't children of promise. It was only one child that he had was a child of promise, which was Isaac. Right? But read.
Verse 28. Now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of promise.
See how they go? Isaac was the was the children of the promise, right? Which is going into the same thing he's talking about as the free. Right? Read.
Verse 29. But as then he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit,
Right? Read.
even so it is now.
This goes into who? Jacob and Esau. Right? Goes into the same lineage. It goes down just history, right? Verse 30.
Nevertheless, what said the scripture? cast out the bondwoman and her son.
Right. So guess what? He had to cast out Ishmael. Right. Read.
For the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with the son of the free woman.
Right. So the son of the bondwoman, they can't. Right. They can't share a kingdom with us. Right. You got to think the world was made for all nations, but the kingdom wasn't made for all nations. Right. There's a difference in it. Verse 30 is the point. I read.
You want 30 again?
No, verse 31.
So like verse 31. So then, brethren, we are not children of the bondwoman,
We ain't children of the bondwoman. We ain't children of the person that don't have the promise. Read.
but of the free.
But of the free. Right. Goes into the promises that we supposed to be promised for us to have the kingdom. Right. You understand that, sis? You understand? Okay. I'll praise it. What you guys said?
Can you precept Galatians 1:30 with 21 and 10?
Yeah, that's a good precept, sis. 9 through 21, 9 through 13, 14, 15, 19. What you got done?
Oh, the ending part
Let
of
me touch on another part. Let's go to John 8:32 real quick.
Real quick before you answer your question. Because it even like how I just broke it down great, you know. Let's read what Christ was saying.
the book of St. John, chapter 8, verse 32.
This ultimately is what really makes us free. Read this out.
John 8 and 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Us keeping the commandments, that's what truly makes us free, because now we understand why the conditions we are in. We understand why we have to pay taxes. We understand these things, man. We understand why we catching hell in this captivity. Read on up.
They answered him, we be Abraham's seed.
And this is what Christ was doing, what? Going into cutting the scribes and the Pharisees. Breaking down. They literally, in that one verse, they literally was going through the history that Capt Jerubbaal just broke down. Because they understood that, guess what? We are Abraham's seed and that the promises belongs to us. Read on up.
They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man.
Uh-huh.
How sayest thou?
He
Ye
said,
shall-
how sayest thou? So Christ was literally telling me, yes, the promises does belong to us, but if y'all not keeping the commandments, y'all not gonna never be truly free.
Right.
You know, Christ was going heavy on their behinds, and they still couldn't understand it. Go ahead, Op.
Any brothers got some more questions? You got one? Let's roll.
Okay, Jeremiah 31, 29 and 30.
Jeremiah 21, 30, 31, 29, 30. Let's read it.
Reference to this sour grape is just going into wine. And drinking the wine.
Yeah. My class going on a little bit.
Start at 27.
Sorry.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 27. Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. And it shall come to pass that like I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, said the Lord.
Say that's heavy, man. 28 is very heavy too, man. All that he said, he came to like to watch over them, to pluck up, to break down, to throw down. Right? These are all the things the Most High God is saying. This is us going into our iniquities, man, basically. So partially what you're saying, that sour grape is going into what? The doctrines that we've been received, right? Read on.
Verse 28, and it shall come to pass that like I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, said the Lord.
So that's tough. The Lord said he watching over you while you're going through your affliction, man. That's what precept you got in your mind? That all your afflictions you're going through, the Lord is still watching over you while you're going through those afflictions. 1 Corinthians 13-10. What the Lord said, he won't put more on you that you can bear, right? Even in your afflictions. 10-13, you know, I got that dyslexia talking. Even through your affliction, the Lord said he right there doing it to you, watching over you, right? That's heavy, man. Read on.
Verse 29. In those days they shall no more, they shall say no more. The fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge.
But what?
But everyone shall die for his own iniquity.
Because now we ain't gonna be able to blame it on our forefathers before. Like everybody out there seeing the truth right now. Right? When we get there, they seeing YouTube, they passing by us on the street corners. You will no more be able to blame it on, oh, well, our forefathers did it. Now you doing it too, nigga. Right? You indulging in these things too. The Lord say he in 27, when he said the seed of man and with the seed of beast, that's what he was gonna show you. He was gonna show you the prosperity of the nations, the other nations, man. That's what we're going into. That's our problems, right? The money, like we said, that's went into that class last week. The money, when we see the money, that's what we're going to. All this is that sour grape. All of these are the doctrines that we indoctrinated with that we're going to now. So he said you will no longer be able to blame anybody else. It's gonna be your own actions. Benaniyah always say that, and they don't be mad unless you did it. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 30 from the top. But every one shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge.
Go ahead, Benaniyah.
Grapes are made into what? Wine. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the book of Micah. Sour grape, this goes into this as well. Let's go to the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 11. When we break it down that way, Salaki, that should make brothers should be ready to home in the points. Even when Captain Yara said sour grapes, lies, he literally gave you the answer. Brothers got to start putting these pieces together, man. Read this right quick out.
So like the book of Micah. You want to start at what, 11?
Yeah, start at 11.
Okay. The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 11. If a man walking in the spirit in falsehood do lie.
Do what?
Do lie.
Read on, not
saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine.
Of what?
Of wine.
Read on, not
and of strong drink.
So we see how the Most High God compares falsehoods and lies to what? Wine and strong drink. So we know, even like I've just brought out, sour grapes is going into what? The other doctrines of the other nations that causes us to be abominable, causes us to be polluted according to the Most High. But that thing is, read verse 11. I don't want to jump the gun.
Verse 11. What? Oh, verse 11
again. Yeah.
If a man walking in the spirit in falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink. He shall even be the prophet of this people.
So in one aspect, we know that sour grapes can go into what? Lies and falsehoods. But you have to understand that the scriptures are double. Let's go to the book of 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 21. What can grapes also be compared to? Say it again. All praise, brother Noah. You know them precepts, though. You know what I'm saying? To kind of prove that point. Let's go to the book of 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 21. I tell you, my guy, man. Even in 2 Ezra chapter 5, where the Most High God tells us his favorite fruit, the vine tree, you know, out of the vine tree, grapes made for wine, so on and so forth. You get to read this out.
The book of 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 21. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster.
A grape of the cluster. Read on out.
And a plant of a great people.
So we see how the Most High God compares Israel to a cluster of grapes that he's planted. Even going back to what Sister Genesis asked, that's him plucking us up. You know, the ripe grapes, those are the ones that's going to be plucked up. That's going to be kept for the kingdom. But guess what? Those sour grapes are going to be what made for destruction. So you want to make sure that you use discernment in there, because Israel can be compared to grapes. And like you said, sour grapes can be compared to lies and falsehoods and doctrine. Brothers understand that, sisters understand that.
Go ahead. Well, on that, could y'all also use Deuteronomy 32, 31?
With that grape
Yeah.
ad.
Yeah. People. Yeah. With 32, 33. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 32. Well, verse 31. For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of Gal. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps.
Yeah, you know, but that's the opposite.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, you want to use that point to show.
Yeah.
They're opposite.
Could we add Isaiah 18 and 5 to that? What you just did? I appreciate that for that. What he just read with the sour grapes, with them being showing like the iniquity of you going, you know what I'm saying? Being on.
Yeah, read verse 5.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 18, verse 5. For the harvest, when the bud is perfect, and the sour grape is ripening in the flower, he shall both cut off the sprigs with pruning hooks, and take away and cut down the branches.
That's going into, if you like, basically you trying to teach a class, making a point. But not so much just into it. Let's go online a little bit right quick. Question online. Question.
Oh, briefly go over marriage custom.
He asked for what?
First question was, can you briefly go over marriage customs?
So, if brothers and sisters want to get married, what precept should you get? One of the first precepts you go to. Toby what?
7 chapter.
Chapter 7, verse what?
Verse. Start at verse 13.
Verse 13. Let's get it. Book of Tobit, chapter 7, verse 13.
The book of Tobit, chapter 7, verse 13. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be the wife to Tobias, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father. And he blessed them, and called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants, and sealed it. Then they began to eat. After Raguel called his wife Edna, and he said unto her, Sister, prepare another chamber, and bring her in thither. Which, when she had done as he had bidden her, she brought her thither, and she wept, and she received the tears of her daughter. And she said unto her, Be of good comfort, my daughter. The Lord of heaven and earth give thee joy for this thy sorrow. Be of good comfort, my daughter.
What verse is it?
That was 18.
Yeah.
So basically, this goes into one of the first thing that they did before they laid down. They did what? They had an instrument of covenant. They made a covenant, right?
Verse 13. Yeah. The first thing is what they did is what? Behold, take her after the law of Moses, man. After the law. See, I know brother asked, he was talking about the customs, like, oh, well, do we wear rings or anything like that? No, the custom that we went after was the law, right? Followed by what? The ceremony they ate. Followed by what? The tokens of the damsel taking the virginity. These are all the things that are customs, right? Ain't no necklace with bae and husband on it. Ain't no ring. Ain't no damn tattoo on your left ring with his and hers. None of that, right? Those were not our customs. All these customs came from other nations, right? So I know that when they ask about the customs, I know they see this. But no, we don't do the rings and stuff in Israel, man. That's not our customs, right? I know brother asked that one question about that. So the custom that we go out is the law. Then they got the paper, right? Just we don't do those other customs.
Now, we don't do like a lot of those customs. We don't do, but it's not a law against it. But we don't do those. I mean,
Right.
It's not our custom.
Jumping the broom and all that stuff, man. We go after the law.
Read verse 13 again.
Verse 13 from the top. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be wife to Tobias.
So in the ancient times, we always would espouse our daughters or our sons to another. Now we bring it up to today. How do we do that today? By going to the leaders and saying that you want to prove a brother or a sister. Brothers forget that thing. Because the thing is, leaders can save you a whole bunch of goddamn time by examining a brother or sister spirit. Now that sister ain't ready out. That sister deal with such, such, and such. Now, since that brother ain't ready, that brother deal with such, such, and such. We can save y'all a whole bunch of times, and that's why, like we say, that thing is still in place, brothers and sisters, man. You trying to prove somebody, make sure that y'all come to leadership first so we can do what? Ask the questions that y'all not gonna ask. We trying to save y'all a whole bunch of time and get down to the nitty-gritty, man. Because people never show you who they really are up front. They never show you that. It's always going to be the good side and never the bad side. So we're going to ask those hard questions. Come to leadership. Come to leadership, man. It's going into the same thing. Go ahead, huh?
Do y'all okay? Because I want to speak on it too. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It's harder to fix a problem when the person is in the middle of a problem. That's the hardest thing. It's just like, think about it. I know the twins probably know it. Somebody cutting hair and another barber done messed their hair up. And they said, man, come in and fix my hair. Or if you go, woman, y'all getting your hair done by another beautician. And she go to, hey man, this woman just jack your head up, man. You go to another beautician, man. She might cut half your hair trying to fix your hair, man. Right? It's harder to fix a problem when the problem is already going. Right? Instead of just kind of fixing the problem from the beginning. Right? But the customs of marriage, right? It's like I could say, man, we got to take it after the law of Moses, man. Right? Because you got to think in times past, the father would give away his daughter, but if say for instance, the man hated her after her father done gave her away, right? What if a man hate her? What would happen? What's the next step?
We just talked about, I was just going to say, but we just talked about this in Camp 101.
22 and
What did you pull? Because it just showed you how she was out of order because the custom was what? In verse 13, that the father would give her away.
Go to Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 13.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 13. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her,
And
guess
what? This goes into a man that he take a woman and he hate her, right? He don't want to be with her. After they done laid together, read on.
and give occasion of speech against her.
Right? Because guess what? And sometimes our brothers, this is how our brothers be, man. Man, hey, giving occasion of speech against her, this goes into saying that she's not a virgin. Right? Because it was a shame for a woman to be in her father's house giving it up. Right? But we know nowadays, man, hey, men give it up, women give it up, everybody give it up. They like Tupac, let's toss it up, man. Everybody, let's toss it up, man, right? We'll read.
Verse 14 from the top, and give occasion of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid.
Guess what, man? Brothers, y'all looking for a wife in this truth? 99%, and you're not gonna be a maid. Which meaning what? They're not gonna be a virgin, right? You got to think this is the world we live in, right? A lot of brothers and sisters, before they come into this truth, if we was in the truth, we have a lot of wives. And you have to take a brothers wouldn't have no break, man. You be working all day, all night, man, right? Brothers be working all day, all night. About working, right? And the sisters have to do the same thing too to try to keep this household up, man. Brothers won't have no rest, man. But hey, this the world we live in now. Well, read on.
Verse 15. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity.
So they got in the times past to show that she's a virgin, they brought the tokens of virginity. What is the tokens of virginity? The sheep with the blood on it. Right, read.
Unto the elders of the city in the gate, and the damsel father shall say unto the elders,
What do you say?
I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her.
So her father had to try to tell the elders of the city. And reason why they had to tell the elders of the city, because what if back in the day, what if they cast that marriage off and she tried to take another husband? No. Think about what I'm saying. Not into this, think about this time. The Lord gave them the bill of divorce because of the hardness of their hearts. Think about this at this time. Right? Don't lose the point. So if the Lord allowed them to have a bill of divorce, that means that guess what? The lady was able to do what? They was able to take on to another wife, right? Or she was able to take on to another husband, right? But read
Verse 17. And lo, he had given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity.
So he proved that she was a virgin when she was at his house, right? Read.
And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city, and the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him.
And they should chastise this man. Why should they chastise the man? Because he lied. He put occasion against his woman. Right, read.
And they shall immerse him in 100. And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the fathers of the damsel.
Immerse is going into a fine. Right, read.
Because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel, and she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days.
So guess what? He should put away her. But guess what? Guess what a wicked Negro would do anyway? Put her away. He was supposed to, but he did it anyway. That's why you think Christ said from the beginning it never was so. You can just only way you can put away a woman from the beginning was what? Now you can see it. Was fornication, adultery. You can put her away for those things, right? Even now to this day, a man in Israel, we can't just put away our wives just for any old thing, right? This is what the world teaches, that you can just put her away. You and your wife, y'all can't get along because y'all arguing all the time. You can just put her away according to this world. But it ain't what God said. Because guess what? It's a lot of time you go home and you don't get along with a person that you love. You don't get along with each other, man. But y'all have to learn to find a way, because guess what? You are already married, and the Lord's not gonna let you just do what you want to do, right? Oh yeah.
And that's the point, man, because a lot of times when the going gets tough, people get going. You know, you can't want to run away from problems. That's what the Most High God is teaching us. So what, brother, understand? What is the order, brother Hosea, Jan? What's the order of marriage? Yeah, what is the order of marriage? If you're trying to take a sister, what's the order you should go by? Proving up first.
And then there should be the papers of marriage.
Agree. Well, first, y'all should come to leadership. Then prover. Then what? Then the marriage certificate. Then what? The wedding ceremony. Then the consummation.
Listen, if you do the consummation out of order, man, you just out of order, man. Brother, you just did. Guess what, man? Because a lot of brothers and sisters, they want to try a sister, really try a sister, man. Right? You want to try, see, this is what I want, man. No, you can't just taste the goods and try to, man, look here. Nobody buys a sneaker bar, take one bite of it, and take the sneaker bar back in the store and say, no, I don't want this sneaker, man. It just ain't good. No, it don't work like that, man. It just don't work like that.
The nougat is just not working for me. The nougat, like, it's not dealing with it. Right? But it's a lot of out of orderness, man, because like in the scripture, and we went over this in Camp 101, I'm going to read this. Let's go to Sirach 42 and verse 9. Because it's a lot of out of ordinance, because even we're just reading and we'll talk about it. Because like we said, the custom was for the father to betroth the daughter to her husband, right? Then they go through the process, right? But like I said, this process is not being touched at all today, man. Brothers and sisters ain't doing this process at all. Restart it now.
The book of Sirach, chapter 42, verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth.
See, the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, man. That was his possession at that time, right? He's looking for her, a husband to be betrothed to, right? Read.
In the care of her, taketh away sleep. When she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age.
Lest she pass away the flower of her age, right? Read. And what is that going into? The flower of virginity, right? Read.
And being married, lest she should be hated.
And be married, lest she should be hated, because we see that that's going into what sex going into marriage, right? When she give away the flower of her age, the sex without marriage, right? Read.
In her virginity, lest she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house.
It's like I said, man, what are these children doing, man? They having sex, getting married, and straight doing it in their mom and dad's houses, man. That's totally out of order. Damn daughter walking around with a 6-month stomach in her mama's house, man. Right? That's crazy as heck right now, man.
But y'all got to think back when we was young, man. When a girl got pregnant, man, when we was young, man, everybody be like,
damn.
You like such and such pregnant, man.
That was the talk of the town. Back then, that was the talk of the town. But see, this is like we said, the customs of our marriage is to do the things in order, man. That's the main custom. We ain't worried about no damn rings and all this other stuff, man. You don't got to get no big ass white dress with a veil. You want to get that, that's cool. But that ain't really what we about. What we about is making this marriage last through the Most High God, man. And that's forever, man, right? But just to make it last, keep sweat that thing, man. You know what I'm saying? But you see that's out of order, man. How many times do we see these young children, these young girls, man, walking around their mother and father's house? First of all, they ain't walking around their father's house because the father ain't there. So it doesn't solely changed with that, because now they walking around their mother's house. And because the mother was a young teen parent, well, then it's okay for the daughter to be a young teen parent.
Because mother and daughter pregnant at the same time.
That's right. Say for real. Like you said, you got 38-year-old grannies right now, man. I'm not lying to y'all, man. 35 and 38-year-old grannies.
31.
Grandmothers. Say, man. Because these customs of our marriage is out of order, man.
Man, I'm tell you. I even had friends growing up. 30 years old, he already a granddaddy. Guess what? His son ain't old enough to pay the child support, so he got to pay child support for his grandson. Yeah. If your child ain't old enough to have to go to work to get a job, guess what? If you the granddaddy, you got to pay for it, man.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's the flip side. Even with it being shameful for a daughter to be pregnant in her own house, it's also shameful for a brother not to have his SHIT together before he try to prove the sister.
That's right.
Brother, if you ain't got no job, you ain't got no place to stay, don't come to us about nothing, man. I'm serious as hell, man. How in the hell can you do anything with it? What y'all gonna do? Mess around in the car or something, or at the bus stop? That don't even make no damn sense, bro. You don't even
Right.
have nowhere to
That's
take
right.
your sister, man.
That's right, fat man.
Don't
That's right.
come to us, man, if you ain't got those things in order. I'm gonna repeat, man, because we getting real serious about this stuff too, man. Don't come to us if you ain't got those things in order, man. We literally go through this all the time from the time of Adam. Most High God gave Adam a place to stay. He gave him a job. Then he what? Got a wife.
But these niggas coming, as soon as they get that key, well, they come and dangle that key. They ain't got no furniture. They accepted me, gave me my key today. I'm looking at this sister. Damn, brother. Get a couch.
But not okay, and not just that, because it's a heavy thing in marriage. You got to think also, just because you got a place to stay, man, we're gonna start doing this too. We're gonna have to. Just because you got a place to stay, just because you got a job, and just because you got a vehicle, and guess what? You got that established. That's good. That's real good. But if you don't got the precepts to help build this sister up, don't ask. Don't come. You're gonna say, get your ass out of our face, man. We're just gonna see you just like that, bro. No, don't bring your ass over here with that.
Go to another camp with it, man.
Right? Because a lot of times when brothers get rebuked or sisters get rebuked, guess what? They switch camps. Right? And guess what? Who gives a damn? Because there's gonna be a lot of people come and go. Guess what? The Lord mess around and put it on anybody's spirit. Guess what? You choosing something, you chose something first before he even put it on your spirit. It's your choice. But in that, because y'all think the steps that we've been talking about in marriage for the last 6 years, 7 years, we've been talking a lot of steps, trying to get brothers and sisters in order, but it done got to a point that it's got to be like this, man. Right? Because brothers and sisters taking marriage out of the wrong of understanding. Right?
Doing it out of order. That's why it don't work a lot of times. And brothers and sisters see what's going on in the congregation. We can't play dumb. We ain't playing dumb, man. Come on, brothers and sisters see that thing. You understand a fruitful and helpful relationship if they do it the right way. But we done seen plenty of times when brothers and sisters do it the wrong way, it never lasts. Brothers and sisters see that.
And like I say, you get your place. Like you say, yeah, I got my key. Y'all, what y'all gonna be on the floor just laying up on each other? Got the little heater down there, little fan. TV ain't got no stand or nothing. You got the TV on the floor with you.
That's true love, man.
Damn.
She love me, man. The Lord, but that is that the Lord's vision, or is that your vision, man?
It's your vision, man.
And the Lord talk about that with them prophets, man, that go after their own vision, man. Like we see, when you go back to Adam, what did he do? He gave him job, he gave him everything, gave him the understanding, and then gave him a real, man.
Right? Because the only kind of love that brothers coming into, oh man, she love me. No, she love you long time. That's it. Just like Noah. That's it. That's the only kind of love. It ain't no real love. Guess what? When you understand marriage, brothers, let's think about the brothers. And we talk about the Capt 101. And we talk about, this is one of the subject that be coming up a whole lot for brothers. And brothers still do the same damn thing. But anyway, brothers being married 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You versus brothers being married 1, 2, 3 years. Brothers that been married 1, 2, 3 years. Man, y'all are the damn, I'm just gotta say, man, y'all some damn fools, man. A lot of y'all is some damn fools. When you been in marriage, guess what? You don't love your wife, you're gonna hate your wife. You're gonna love her, you're gonna hate her. She gonna be the best thing in the world, she gonna be the worst thing in the world. You're gonna go through all those different attributes to find out who she is as a woman, and she gonna go through the same thing to try to find out who you is as a husband. But a lot of us as men and women, we don't take the time to try to find out those things. It's just all the time get hard, I want to move on. You the damn fool, right? We gotta stop those things. That's why we trying to catch these things before we get there far, right? Because the trial period is a real thing. Brothers, if you ain't got yourself together, if you can't build yourself up, you can't build her up. Sisters, if he can't build his damn self up, if he ain't diligent and he can't build himself up, don't think he gonna build you up. You're gonna be another sister in here bringing this dude to counsel because he don't know crap.
Because are you looking for a husband or a true leader?
Right?
You looking for a husband or you looking for a true leader?
Or you looking for some DICK?
Say,
Right?
Because I'm gonna tell you,
Just be honest.
hey, we get on the sisters as well. You see brothers up in this thing can't answer. What's the truth? And you like it on that brother, you a damn fool, sis. This brother, we tell him, hey, see a homosexual spirit. This brother bring out Numbers 15,
he got
30.
a good heart.
You a
He
damn
got a
fool.
good heart. He got
You know
a good
what I'm
heart.
saying?
though, man. He got a good
And
heart.
vice versa. Brothers seeing sisters patterns of good work and they ain't there. Brothers is some damn fools.
But I'm gonna tell you, that's what it is with women, because they were very, very more emotional. That's the thing they'll say. He can't answer the question, but he got a good heart. He just because they emotional. He got a good heart. No.
That's a season. Because guess what? I'm gonna tell y'all women, I'm gonna give y'all, I try to help these men out. I'm gonna help y'all women out. These Negroes gossip more than women.
Yeah.
And they have attitudes. They've been raised by their mamas. Their mamas showed them how to be a man. And guess what? They got to learn how to be a man according to how God tells them to be. And if they ain't understanding that, sis, yeah, he nice to you because guess what? Mama told him you're supposed to treat a woman like this. But when God steps in the middle of it and say, hey, this is how you're supposed to treat your woman, now that man, he backs out because he don't really know how to treat that woman. If he can't build himself up in God's word, then you not going to be built up by him. Period. Right? You can put that in your pipe and smoke that one. That's what my daddy said. We put that in your pipe and smoke that.
Not literally.
Not literally, though.
Not literally.
Some of these boys say, oh, we can smoke. We can smoke.
Put in your pipe. Cut the class off. They cut the class off right now. What?
Don't smoke it, literally. I'll be smoking that Lake of Fire.
So I hope y'all got the customs, man. I hope that I went through that. The custom is the law. That's what our custom is. With that next question. Sis, what did she say? It was one before her. I mean before him. Numbers. Or was Yaakov before that number? Yeah, he was. Well, actually, it is Yaakov, Shalom leadership. Can y'all go into Luke 22, verses 31 and 32? Israel being sifted out. We know around Passover is a big sifting season.
Read that right quick. Verse 31 and 32.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 22, verses 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan had desired to have you, that he may fit you as wheat.
Read that again.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 22, verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan had desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat.
That he may what?
Sift you as wheat.
Because sometimes, guess what? Satan desires, brothers and sisters, especially during Passover, to do what? To sift us out, man. If brothers and sisters are not grounded in this truth, you will be sifted out, man. That thing is heavy. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 9. Brothers should already know some precepts. What is the key word in that verse? Brother Twin. What's the key word in that verse? Read verse 31 again. What y'all doing? Trying to get precepts or something? What y'all missing the point?
I was writing something and he was reading already, so I missed it.
So read verse 31 again.
St. Luke, chapter 22, verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan have desired to have you.
That he may what?
That he may sift you as wheat.
That he may what?
Sift you as wheat.
So what's the key word in that verse? Any brother. Sift. Brother, that's one of them, but sift. Sift. Brothers don't want to get sifted out in this thing, man. Read that Amos chapter 9.
Say, trying to slide by that sip, dude.
You want to start at
Nah, just straight to the point.
9?
9 and
9.
yeah.
Okay. The book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations.
So you want to be in that number. You don't want to be in the other one, like how we just read. We want the Most High God to sift us. We don't want Satan to sift us. Read on out.
Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
So the Most High God said, if you are of the elect, you will be in that number, man. You'll be in that number, but you don't want to be in that number of Satan. Because guess what? Satan used many devices to do what? To pull brothers and sisters out of the truth. Go back to that verse 32, Luke chapter 22, verse 32.
Go ahead. Saint Luke chapter 22, verse 32. But I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not.
What's this going into? See if brother know. What is this going into? See if brothers know. Verse 32.
Verse 32. But I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not.
What are we reading? No, stay with us. What's the point we making? What's the point is being made? Not being sifted. Then the next point is what? They what? No. Heck no. Man, hey, y'all almost like Fred, man. Saved, man. God dang it. What'd he say? James chapter 5 and verse 16. Brother, stay with us. It says, Satan desired to sift you as wheat, but I pray for thee. Do y'all get that? That's the next point that he's making. Y'all see? He didn't.
What? To what? To say it again? Who said it?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Ezra.
Say it again, sis. To what? To pray. You understand that? When you feeling like you getting about to be sifted out, you should do what? Pray.
Right? Yeah, I know. I know. Every time. I know. James chapter 5, verse 16. You get y'all, let's read it.
The book of James, chapter 5, verse 16. Yeah, verse 16. Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that you may be healed.
That you may be what?
That you may be healed.
What does when you being sifted? Guess what? You being tried, but you still need to be. Guess what? That means the Lord put you through some affliction. So if the Lord put you through some afflictions, right? When you be afflicted, what you need to be? What needs to happen after you get afflicted? You need to be healed. You brothers and sisters understand that. If I go through affliction, I need to be healed. I need to be healed. Sisters go through affliction, they need to be healed. Brothers go through affliction, they need to be healed. Children too. Right? Read.
Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man
Do what?
Availeth much.
It availeth much, man. This is how we supposed to be growing, because we want to be healed, man. Right? If I got a problem with something, I'm gonna tell somebody I'm gonna tell one of the brews my problem. And guess what? I'm gonna expect some prayers to be going up. Right? Just like y'all think about that's why we think we got the chat for. Right? Brothers going through something. Hey man, I'm going through this. Brothers, hey man, y'all throw them prayers up for me. Hey, such and such going through something. Pray for them. Everybody on that thing. Come. Prayers going up, right? Because guess what? Maybe the Lord will hear one of our prayers, man. Right?
Going right back into that, one of my new favorite precepts.
Go ahead.
We just read it, that Jeremiah 30 and 28, man. We just read it. The Lord said, but I pray for you. Meaning that, guess what? He go be able to withstand it, man. We ain't got to get it, but we already got it, man. 31 and 28. 31 and 28. He said, I pray for you, man. I mean, he was there with you, man, to help you get through those troublous times, man. And the main thing, like I said, when you do go through your affliction, what's the next step? To get built up. Same thing. He said, I'll destroy you. He said, then I'll watch over you to build and to plant you back up, man. It's the same thing he said in that precept, man. I said, I'm gonna be with you when you go through your affliction, but I'll be right with you to build you up and plant you right back and put you right back in the root.
Any brothers who's got any questions here before we go back online? What you guys see? That's what he just said. Isaiah Salaki, my bad. Since you said, I said Jeremiah. You right? Well, let's see it right quick.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 28. And his breath as an overflowing stream shall reach to the midst of the neck to sift the nations with the sieve of vanity. And there shall be a bridle in the jaws of the people, causing them to err.
That's going to precept about seed, like sifting us. I would put that more with Amos.
Going to gather.
Yeah. This show how you sift you with vanity. That's how a lot of brothers get sifted out of the truth, man. He said he's showing you how you sift with vanity, right? Causing these people to err, man. Go out.
What we got next?
Darn it. Yeah, that's what I was looking at next. Yeah.
Next question is 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 9 through 11. Let's go there. It says more than just liberty of eating food offered to idols.
Yes, does it go into more than just liberty of eating foods offered to idols?
Let's go there. 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 9.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 8, verse 9.
Before we get there, brothers, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. What y'all think is going? That's all right. Read it out.
1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 9. But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. For if any man see the which, so like verse 10, for if any man see the which has knowledge, sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols?
Read.
And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Christ died?
What do y'all brothers think that's going into?
1 Peter 2:16. No, just name
Give me- What do you think is going into?
Just answer the question.
If somebody's weak to the point where he's not strong enough to
What's the initial point though?
It's
Not tempting them. Not tempting them. Say it again. Food sacrifice. Say it one more time, huh?
Eating food sacrificed unto idols.
Okay, that's the question that's being asked. Eating, does that literally, does that mean that's the only thing that's just going into? Right, so the next question is what? I know, I'm glad y'all got that precept down beside, but explain it to us. Because if, okay, when brothers go precept upon precept with the scriptures, right? And you trying to build somebody up. If you can't, you might have a precept beside it, but if you can't explain the scripture and you go to another scripture, how you going to explain the next scripture you get? You can't explain the scripture you got in front of you. Right? So what you got, Fred?
I would say, like, say for instance, he could be a drunkard, or a weak in other areas of smoking, drinking.
So,
And if you're around certain people like that, to the point where he see that, and he's not strong enough to overcome these things, I wouldn't want to bear,
let me help him out right quick because I know he kind of fumbling with it. So what you got here?
Hold up. I'm here, Judy. Not you saw ya. Same love as you would to yourself, to your own brother, right?
No, that's not it.
Being a good example, so that way you don't lead somebody astray.
No, that's not it. But that's going down. We talking about where we at right now. Y'all jumping the gun. But right now, where you got?
Like somebody struggling, like trying not to eat meat, and you come around with a burger or something.
That's right. Simple as that. Just keep it simple. If I'm struggling, I want to stop eating meat. Okay, let's say for instance, we're gonna because meat ain't seen. Let's use something bigger than that. Somebody's fasting.
Yeah.
If somebody's fasting, and guess what? And you come around them eating while they're fasting, that's gonna tempt them, man. Right? They'll put a spirit of temptation on them. Right? But these goes to be tried. But like I said, if you're going into fasting and people come around you eating, it's gonna tempt you to eat. It's gonna make you like, damn, you're starting to start boiling, whatever, right? We want to just keep it in a small. So when we start putting precepts, this right here will answer the rest of my question, right? So if they asking that question, you can be able to answer right there. So then I'm gonna pull a precept to make sure this backs up what I say. Y'all understand that, right?
Because the thing is, ultimately, when you do that, what law are you fulfilling? You're in the spirit, because you loving your brother as you love yourself. You know, brothers and sisters struggle with certain things. You don't want to come around them drinking heavily. If you know a brother struggle with drinking, that brother says, I don't give a damn. That's him that struggle with that. I don't struggle with that. No, that's not the right spirit to be in. You know what I'm saying? You know a brother may struggle with drinking. Don't go around a brother asking a brother, hey, you want some of this 50 hen or this gallon? You know what I'm saying? Come on, let's do it big tonight. Nah, man.
Because you can't cause your people to stumble, man.
That's right.
Right? You put a stumbling block in front of your brother, man. All right, but let's jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. Wherefore, if it's meat,
Now read 12. Read 12, yeah.
1 Corinthians 8 and 12. But when ye sin so against the brethren and wound their weak conscience.
You see that? Wound their weak conscience. Right? You wound their weak conscience. Where they're weak at, you don't help them. Right? If they trying to stop drinking, we ain't going around them with a six-pack, man. Right? Drinking beer in their face and they trying to stop drinking, or they know that they can't drink. Right? They know they get a little too tipsy or something. We ain't doing it. We don't want to wound their weak conscience. We don't want to make them weaker.
Okay. And I'm gonna tell brothers and sisters something to help you out in this. If say for instance Op is dealing with drinking, I ain't saying Op is, but I'm just saying, say for instance Op was dealing with drinking, and we hang together every day, and I started to drink, and guess what? And I know this will cause him to go drink. I'm not gonna drink, but guess what? He can't feel no type of way if I don't come around him while I'm drinking. Y'all understand that? It's got to be both sides, not just one side. That person has to feel, look, he's doing it to try to help me out. All praise to the Most High. You shouldn't feel no type of way because some people, they don't like me no more. No, it ain't that they ain't like you no more. They trying to literally help you out to keep you out of sin, right? But go.
And all these scriptures, they piggyback with each other too. Lammy back. You don't want to do a piggy.
Like, what? Dang on Razzle Top talking about the three little pigs. You better talk about three little lambs in this mug.
Three little lambs.
Wow, listen, I thought a mic on through the dang on screen. Three little pigs.
How do we know if you're dealing with something if you don't say it? James 5 and 16 say, well, confess your faults one to another. You got to be able to, the scriptures go right back, man. They go right back to themselves, man. You got to be able to confess that thing. If I am dealing with drinking, I need to let my brother know, yeah, man, you know what, drinking is really kind of not good for me right now, so that he'll know. Right? But if I don't tell him, he's still around me drinking, and now I'm in my feelings because my spirit low. Well, you need to say something, man. Right? Confess your faults one to another.
Let's go to that Romans chapter 14 and verse 13. This is a precept that brothers can put. Romans chapter 14 and 1 Corinthians chapter 8 go with each other. They just want to hit on the main points. So even like what Captain Yard brought out, you wound their weak conscience. This precept's with that. Romans chapter 14, verse 13.
The book of Romans, chapter 14, verse 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge us rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way.
So we don't want to put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in your brother's way. That's mainly the main point of the matter, even like what sister was asking, because like we say, when you deal into those things, you can make a brother more or less worse off. Going back to what? Let's go to Leviticus. What's the law on that? 19:14. Let's get that right quick. You said what up?
I said the numbers now.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 14.
Because that thing is heavy, because not only does it touch, and that's the initial context, is food sacrificed to idols. But we do always take it one deeper. Anything can be an idol. Money, drinking, lust. You can idolize anything. Read this out.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shalt fear thy God. I am the Lord.
So we shouldn't put a stumbling block for brothers and sisters that can't spiritually see. Brothers and sisters do deal with things. Guess what? Don't come around their brother or their sister doing that particular thing. But it goes into a number of things like the captains was bringing out. Hey, you have to confess that thing, because if you don't know, what can we do? You can't be mad at a brother that you didn't confess that fault to, man. Secretly holding grudges.
That's right. He come around me all the time drinking. You got struggle. You struggle with drinking. God damn. Yeah, hey, you better tell him, hey, brother, I'm kind of struggling with drinking. You gotta stop coming around me like that. Right? Next question says who? Hosea. He did call me the other day. It says to see what you think about the Latin Vulgate, which included some of the Apocryphal, Judith, Tobit, and the extra version of Deuteronomy 28, verse 29. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 69. Right? Okay. We just talking about the Deuteronomy 28, 69. The Latin Vulgate. The Latin Vulgate came out in 384, I think 384 or 385 BC, BAD. And it was Pope Damas, whatever. He sanctioned
The Bible to be written.
the Bible to be written by this dude named something Jerome, Saint Jerome or something. And they translated the Bible from Hebrew to Latin, right? And they have certain scriptures like Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 69, and some extras on Psalm chapter 51. It's just some extra scriptures that they kind of put into that. When you look at the King James Version, y'all got to think about it from the beginning. When the Bible's written, it wasn't no chapters and verses. Y'all understand that? From the beginning, it was no chapters and verses. It was only the prophet Isaiah or the Chronicles, or it was the Moses and his writing, right? Which goes into Genesis and Numbers and Deuteronomy, Exodus, right? These things right here did not have chapters, right? They only had the writing of those prophets, right? And so when they came and translated those things, that's how we got the chapters and the verses in the Bible. Go ahead.
You answer that, mother. But I would say we normally just stick to the KJV. Even when we go into the Bible, let's get that out of the sun. So whenever the Bible question come up on the validity of the Bible, this is brother should pull this out. We understand you have the Codex Sinaiticus, which means the books of Sinai. You have the Dead Sea Scrolls on which the Bible was translated from. So you have many different versions or translations of the Bible. But the KJV is the best to us, the best translation.
That's right.
You get there, you know what I want out Bible?
Yeah.
Read that right quick out.
The Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 86,
Uh-huh.
King James Version. When Elizabeth died in 1603, the crown passed to James I, who had been king of Scotland for 37 years
So he was king over Scotland, a black man. Read on.
as James VI.
Uh-huh.
Several months after he ascended the throne of England,
So he was king of England as well. Read on.
he authorized a new
So
translation
he authorized a new translation. Read on out.
of the Bible to replace the bishop's Bible.
At that time, they had the bishop's Bible. Read on.
47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day.
Read that again out.
47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day.
So these were the best of the best. They went to the best schools and so on and so forth. Read on out.
Were divided into 6 groups, 3 for the Old Testament, 2 for the New, and 1 for the Apocrypha.
Uh-huh.
2 of the groups met at Oxford, 2 at Cambridge.
So these are some of the most prestigious colleges even today. Read on out.
And 2 at Westminster.
Uh-huh. So you got Cambridge, you got Westminster, and you got Oxford. Read on out.
When a group had completed its task, its work was submitted to 12 men.
So they did what? Took this translation to a group even better than the 47. Read on out.
2 from each panel. Final differences of opinions were settled at the general meeting of each company.
Uh-huh.
In cases of special difficulty, learned men outside of the board of revisers were
So
consulted.
guess what? It went through another proven stage of men that were even better than that 12, than that 47. Read on out.
Marginal notes were used only to explain Hebrew and Greek words, to draw attention to the parallel passages.
Uh-huh.
Italics were used for words not found in the original, but necessary to complete the sentence.
So we see that, guess what? This thing went through a meticulously trials to make sure that we had the best translation of today. So what we have, like we said, we just go with the KJV. Brothers understand that?
We got next.
The next question is Hebrew melodies, Numbers 36 and 2. Why was the Lord and my Lord made different in this verse? Numbers 36 and 2.
Read it up.
The book of Numbers, chapter 36, verse 2. And they said, the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land for an inheritance by lot to the children of Israel. And my Lord was commanded by the Lord to give the inheritance of Zelophehad, our brother, unto his daughters.
What does that mean, brothers? The Most High God gave Yahushua the lot of inheritance to give to Moses. Moses gave it to the children of Israel. It's the chain of command because the Lord had gave us a land, right? And from that land, it has a lot. And he had, so goes into the 2 sisters that goes into the 2 sisters. They had no, what was the guy's name? No sons. Zelophehad has no sons, right? He had only 2 daughters, right? So with her, she can only marry in her tribe. Why? Because the land cannot be, the land can't be divided. So if she was of the tribe of Judah, she can only marry out of the tribe of Judah because the land has marks, and you cannot remove the landmark, according to Leviticus chapter, maybe I think it's Numbers chapter 27, right? So you cannot be moving the landmark. So they have to, that Judah has to keep his land in all the land that the Lord gave him. It's no change in space just because a man doesn't have a son. She, guess what? To keep that land going, if she has daughters, that daughter have to marry somebody in that tribe to keep that land going. That's all this is going into. That's why I said the Lord gave to my Lord to give to the children of Israel.
That's right.
Right.
And all it's doing is, like I just said, is just separating the Most High God from Christ from Moses.
That's right.
Remember, we
Command.
can be called lords too, but we're not the Most High God Lord.
That's right.
So just because you see Lord in the text doesn't always necessarily mean that it's talking about the Most High.
That's right. Because even with Sarah calling Abraham Lord, right? With that First Peter chapter 3. It's just a chain of command, like I said. That's the greatest thing you could have said.
Verse 6.
The book of First Peter, chapter 3, verse 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Lord.
So that's just a title of honor, of respect. Read that again.
First Peter, chapter 3, verse 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
So even for brothers and sisters, because I know sometimes we may have new people, especially like with new sisters, and they might hear a sister call her husband Lord, and they look like, what the hell? Shit, your husband ain't the damn Most High. That's not what that means, sisters. You know, it's just a term of endearment or a term of respect and honor. That's all.
What we got, Nick?
No, Abraham. Okay, y'all go over Christ descending, then first ascending.
John chapter 19.
I got it from Ephesians.
Oh yeah, you seen that too.
Ephesians what?
Make sure you always put that in there. 4 and 1.
Because that's a broad statement too.
Verse 8 on down. Verse 9 on down. Yeah. Start at verse 8. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 8.
Oh, it's not, right?
Yeah, I know that. We're gonna start at verse 8.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 8. Wherefore he said, when he has ascended up on high, and he led captivity captive, and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it? But that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth.
Let's go. Hold that precept. Let's go to John chapter 20. Start at verse 16.
The book of John, chapter 20, verse 16. Yahushua said unto her, Mary. She turned herself and said unto him, Rabbi, what is to say, Master?
Read.
Yahushua said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father.
This goes into Christ said he had not yet ascended unto the Father, but he had just opened up the tomb. And guess what? He had just came from the lower parts of hell, man. Right? Read.
But go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God.
Right. And this goes into what Christ had ascended. Guess what? Up until he's getting ready to ascend up to the Father. Right. And he told him, he said, go tell the disciples, go tell my brother. Right. I came back. He told him in 3 days that he was gonna come back. So he telling them to go tell them that I'm coming back. Let's go back to Ephesians right quick. He's gonna go some more. Read on that.
Start at verse 8 again.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 8. Wherefore he said, when he had ascended up on high, he led captivity captive.
What is the captivity he led captive? Not in this context. Say it again.
The law of sin and death.
What did Christ overcome when he resurrected? Sisters can answer too. Say it again. Death. He overcame death when he resurrected. Remember, just because you see captivity, it can be used as a similitude or a dark saying. Read on up.
They said death. She said death. Like, what kind of death? What kind of death do you think he did? What kind of death you think that is? What? No, I'm talking about Malai. He put his head down. I'm talking about he laid down. The hell you talking about? You had to kill her. You had to look in your eyes. I'm talking about you. Yeah. Well, what kind of death he was talking about? See the brother's death.
Let me prove this right quick. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. So that verse 54. Really this whole little spiel, but we're going to get straight to the point. You all right?
That's it.
First Corinthians chapter 15, verse 54. Read this out.
The book of 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality.
Read on out.
Then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory.
Read that again.
Death is swallowed up in victory.
That's ultimately what we're in this truth for, to have death swallowed up in victory, to have us overcome death, to be what? To be immortal, to live forever. Read on out.
Verse 55. O death.
Oh what?
O death.
Read on out.
Where is thy sting?
Read on out.
O grave. Where is thy victory?
Where's the victory that death gets over us if we obtain to the kingdom? This is what Christ made captivity. Let's go back. It's another one in John I want, where he triumphed over them. Let's get that right quick. Salaki, brothers and sisters. John chapter 1, being seen of them 40 days. John chapter 1 and verse infallible. Oh, is it Acts 1 and 9? One and 3.
Yeah. The book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 3. To whom also he showed himself alive after his passion.
After his what?
After his passion.
After his death, burial, and resurrection. Read on now.
By many infallible proofs.
Do brothers understand what that means? Do sisters understand what that means? Meaning this wasn't no trick. Why wasn't it a trick? Read on now.
By many infallible proofs, being seen of them 40 days.
That's the point right there. When Christ was resurrected, he was seen and walked around for 40 days. So people knew that it wasn't no damn trick. A month and 10 days walking around after we just seen him being put to death. What you got up?
Was he healing and all that during that time?
We'll touch on that. Read on up.
In speaking of the things pertaining to the kingdom of God.
So in a sense, yes, because he was still teaching them what? To keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying? So it was without no evidence that Christ, guess what? The Most High God sent him. Now go back to that Ephesians. Go ahead. Say it again. Which one? Acts 1 and 3. Read that again up.
The book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 3. To whom also he showed himself alive after his passion.
So after Christ's passion, he was alive. He was resurrected. Read on up.
By many infallible proofs.
Meaning what? It was without a shadow of a doubt that Christ was resurrected by the Most High. This is why. Read on.
Being seen of them 40 days.
How many?
40 days.
This is why it was without a shadow of a doubt, because he walked the earth for 40 days. You know, you got the little tricks to where, hey, they can probably walk around with a dead body for one day. But after 2 or 3 weeks, that thing gonna start to stinking, man. Ain't no way you keep that act up. Read on out.
and speaking of the things pertaining to the kingdom of God.
So guess what? When he was resurrected, he was back to the work of the Most High, speaking and teaching our people. You got that to him? Go back to Ephesians.
Read it up.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 8 from the top. Wherefore he said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men.
Guess what? He gave them the gifts to do what? Right. To teach and preach, cast out spirits. Guess what? It's the same thing we got now. Teach, preach, cast out spirits. When y'all see brothers, guess what? And you see brothers and sisters, we out there teaching on the street. Y'all see brothers and sisters, and they sit around listening. Guess what? It's a spirit on them. And that same spirit, they hear the word, guess what? And guess what? That's why the Lord got 4 types of Israelites. Right? That's why the Lord literally has 4 types of Israelites. Because guess what? When you stop and you see people hear the words, guess what? They do one of the 2 actions. They do one of the 4 actions. Salaki. They come in, Satan take it away immediately. Guess what? The cares of the world. Some will be here for a little while. They do all the actions of the Israelite, man. Right? But read on up.
Verse 9.
Verse 9.
Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth?
Right? Because he said he had to do what? Die for 3 days, right? Read on.
He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens.
Right? Because guess what? He had to go what? To go see his father. What we just read in John chapter 20, right? Read.
That he might feel all things.
That he might do what?
Feel all things.
What was the thing that would feel all things? What was that feel? Sister, y'all can answer too. What was it? To do what? I need more, man. What you say? Sacrificial. He became the ultimate lamb. That's guess what? For that lamb became grace and mercy and truth, right? That was the ultimate sacrifice, right?
Real quick, where are they pulling this from? What was this written in the Old Testament?
Psalm 68.
Read that right quick. Let's get those precepts. Remember, they always pulling some aspect from the Old Testament. 68 and verse 18. This is a song of David. You say David was prophesied.
The book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 18. Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive.
By overcoming death. Read on.
Thou hast received gifts for men.
Read on.
Yea, for the rebellious also.
Yea, for the rebellious also, because it was going into what? Who was the rebellious that Christ died for? Specifically. What you got, Shamuah?
Israel.
Yes, Israel, but specifically in the New Testament. Yeah, but
Man, come on, give us some more.
who was it Christ mainly at odds with? Yes, the scribes, the Sadducees, the Pharisees. They were the rebellious.
Because, like you say, this is how grace came into the world, because he had gave the rebellious time to get it right too.
That's right.
Right?
We're going specifically, it's not nothing as a whole Israel, but specifically within that. It's going into the scribes, the Sadducees, and the Pharisees. Because they was the ones who were mainly at odds with Christ. They were always going against Christ. Yes, exactly. Matthew chapter 23. They will be telling people to keep the laws, but they themselves won't be doing. Read verse 18 again.
Psalm 68 and 18. Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for men. Yea, for the rebellious also.
Yea, for the rebellious also. Read on.
That the Lord God might dwell among them.
That the Lord God might dwell among them. What? In the form of Christ. Go ahead.
So back to Ephesians now.
Are you understanding that, brother Abraham?
And it's gonna go down it's gonna go down. Once we get down a little bit way, it's gonna show you the gifts that the Lord came back and gave up to us, right? But read verse 11.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers.
Read.
For the perfecting of the saints.
For the what?
For the perfecting of the saints.
How can the saints be perfected, brothers? Psalms 19:7. This is how the prophets be perfected. Read.
For the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of the Mashiach.
This is how we be perfected. Y'all understand that? Right? This is some of the gifts. When the Lord came back, he started handing it out. Give among the nation, among our nation. Right? He didn't get it to the heathens, though.
That's right. Now this is really going, like you said, it's a spiritual thing, because the same way Christ did, we gotta die ourselves, right? That's what we're doing. We're putting off that old man, that old woman. Go to Matthew 18:3, man. Matthew 18:3.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 18, verse 3. And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children.
So the way we become little children and convert is what? Changing, killing off that old man, that old woman, converting to what? The laws of the Most High God coming back. That's what we are doing as well. That's the spiritual side of this thing, man, right? Christ is showing us that that's what we have to do, man, ourselves. For what, like he said, he gave us this for the perfecting of the saints, to do that, to be able to get us on the right path, right? Go to Hosea right quick, 14 and 13. Hosea 14 and 13. You want to start at 9? 13 and 14, Shalaki. Say, well, I'm dyslexic like a mud today, right? Looking at things totally different. Shalaki 13 and 14.
The book of Hosea, chapter 13, verse 14.
You can precept this with that 1 Corinthians 15 too. Go ahead.
First Hosea, chapter 13, verse 14. I will ransom them from the power of the grave.
See that? Ransom them from the power of the grave. That's what it is. Those that are dead, he's going to ransom us and pull us from that power of the grave, right? Read.
I will redeem them from death.
And how is he redeeming from death? What is the strength of sin?
The law.
The law, which is going into that 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. Read.
I will redeem them from death. O death, I will be thy plague.
He said, death, I'm gonna be the plague of death, right? Read.
O grave, I will be thy destruction. Repentance shall be hid from my eyes.
So the same thing is the spiritual side of this, like we said, we always see, going into Christ ascending and descending, but you see that the spiritual side of this thing. So we have to do the same thing, not as far as extending and descending, but as far as dying again, right? So y'all can precept that with that 1 Corinthians 15. Yeah.
Brothers, sisters, got any questions? Brothers, sisters, in here got any questions? We'll go back online again.
Go ahead, huh? It was just I had 2 questions in Ezekiel. I forgot to ask earlier. It got passed. It's only 46. 22. No, 16 and 46. Ezekiel 16 and 46. And thy elder sister Samaria, she and her daughters that dwell at thy left hand, and thy younger sister that dwelleth at thy right hand is Sodom and her daughters. So it's saying the elder sister of Samaria. Was it just talking about Judah? Or was it talking about in that context?
It's going into the northern tribe.
Goes into, think about Joseph is the what? He's part of the.
Oh shoot, I just read it wrong. I just couldn't read it. My bad. It's like
So break it down so they can understand.
Says thy eldest, because the head of Ephraim is Samaria. So it's just talking about the northern tribe.
That's right.
And all their abominations that they did with idols and everything. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't read it right. My bad. So like,
And that younger sister, who are the younger sister?
that's Judah. My bad.
That's Judah. That's right. Uh-huh.
And we let's speak on Reuben, since he was what the first born was that guy.
No, it's to speak of the
No,
whole
this
northern tribe.
this being on northern and southern kingdom.
But we talking about the northern tribe in totality.
As a
not just
whole.
one.
So I'm asking about the elder part.
No, listen to what we say.
What is that? Hosea chapter 1 and 2? I just want to do that, man.
But it's talking about the whole northern tribe in totality. Right? Let's read verse 46 again.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 46. And thine elder sister is Samaria, she and her daughters that dwell at thy left hand, and thy younger sister that dwell at thy right hand is Sodom and her daughters.
It said it's Sodom and her daughter. Break it. Let me see. I'm gonna give out a chance to break it down. See if you get it done. I want to see if you got it.
With that right there.
Yeah.
I mean, with Sodom, because I mean, how I looked at it and I was thinking about it, because he was saying their daughters is Sodom. You know, Sodom is more all the abominations they did. And when you read down, you say, yeah, they did this and this and this, but y'all did worse than them. Basically saying, like how I was reading earlier in the nativity and stuff, Canaan.
Let me help you out. Jump down to verse 55.
Come, verse 55. When thy sister Sodom and her daughter shall return to their former estate, and Samaria and her daughter shall return to their former estate,
Read.
then thou and thy daughter shall return to your former estate.
So going to your former estate is going into the nations, man. Right? We're going into the nation of Israel. Read.
Come. For thy sister Sodom was not mentioned by thy mouth in the day of thy pride.
So he said thy daughters going into, like you say, the whole northern tribe in totality. Because what was Joseph's two sons? Manasseh and Ephraim, right? Watch this though, read.
Verse 57. Before thy wickedness was discovered, as at the time of thy reproach of the daughters of Syria, and all that are round about her, the daughters of the Philistines, which despise thee round about.
Read.
Thou hast borne thy lewdness, and thy abomination, said the Lord.
So going into the northern tribe and their customs, what happened during the time of Assyria? What did he say? They were sacrificing to idols, right? And this is going into the northern tribe, not just the one part of the northern tribe. The whole northern tribe was doing it, right? Huh? Who? Yeah, Pecan. Yeah, Al. They said Al. Yeah, Peck. Yeah, right. And this goes into the whole northern tribe was going out. And so when they came back, when they restored them, then the Lord started giving them their favor. Like he read in verse 55. Read verse 55 again.
Verse 55 from the top. When thy sister Sodom and her daughter shall return to their former estate, and Samaria and her daughter shall return to their former estate.
Right.
Then thou and thy daughter shall return to your former estate.
Right, because he says turn to your. What is your? Like goes into the northern and southern tribe together. They will put Israel back in one family again together. Right? Jump on to verse 53.
Verse 53. When I shall bring again their captivity, the captivity of Sodom and her daughters.
And her daughters, read.
And the captivity of Samaria and her daughters. Then will I bring again the captivity of thy captives in the midst of them.
Right? Because guess what? It wasn't just one part of the tribe, it was the whole tribe. And so when they're talking about, when this right here goes into, when it's talking about her younger sister and the other sister, no, it has nothing to do with the southern tribe. It's just a northern tribe, period. So it wasn't part of it, it was the whole northern tribe that was going out. So when they jump down to verse 55, it goes into bringing the northern and southern tribe back together again. That's why I say in your estate, meaning Israel is state in the whole totality. Brothers, get there or you don't.
Yeah, so like
Go
Put
ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 3 right there.
Oh. He said
No, Jeremiah 3, Ezekiel starting at like 50, starting at like where you started from.
okay.
48, 47,
46.
48, 46, 47, 48. Start at 1 because it's reading down. 6 and 7 is a big point of it, but shoot.
You want to read? Okay. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3. You want to start at 1?
Yeah.
Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 1. Then say, if a man put away his wife, and she gone from him, and become another man's wife, another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, said the Lord.
So the Lord is talking about the northern kingdom at this time, playing the whole, right? Read on.
Lift up thine eyes into the high places and see, thou hast not been with, or been lined with, Salaki. Salaki, read that again. Verse 2. Lift up thine eyes into the high places and see where thou hast not been lined with. In the waves hast thou sat for them, as the Arabian in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness.
So the Lord is saying, sure, you should put this is a woman that to be put away. If this wasn't Israel, his chosen people, this is the woman that to be put away, right? Giving you wife and husband, but basically going into how he's married to us, right? So he's saying a woman that have done, a nation of people that have done this, if this wasn't Israel, if this one y'all must have been divorced, man, right? Wicked. Read on.
Verse 3. Therefore the showers have been withholden, and there have been no latter rain, and thou hadst a whore's forehead, thou refusest to be ashamed. Verse 4.
Yeah, what a whore's forehead. What is a whore's forehead, brother? She a hard head.
Hard-headed.
A hard-headed hoe.
Hard-headed hoe in the Bible. It literally says a hard-headed hoe in the Bible.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. Wilt thou not from this time cry unto me, my father, thou art the guide of my youth? Will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Behold, thou hast spoken and done evil things as thou couldest. The Lord said unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel have done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there have played the harlot.
So the northern kingdom had played the harlot. Read on.
Verse 7. And I said after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me. But she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it.
And her treacherous sister Judah saw it. This is going into the Ezekiel 16, talking about the older sister and the younger. This is going into the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. We saw it. We saw our northern kingdom counterparts go through wickedness, folly, idolatry, but yet we didn't learn from it. Right? We went and failed our damn self.
Brings it up.
Come, go ahead. Verse 8. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
Played a hard-headed hoe.
That's right.
Right. Let's get some more of that. Go to Songs of Solomon, chapter 8. In verse 8.
The book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 8. We have a little sister, and she hath no breast.
What that mean?
Understand.
She has no understanding. She lacks understanding. Right? Read.
What shall we do for our sister in the day when she shall be spoken for?
What that mean?
The day of judgment.
When we go off, that means the Lord gonna come back to visit. So when the Lord come back to visit us in that day, what's going to happen? Destruction. And this is how the Lord cast their butt off, right? Because when the Lord came to visit them, hey, it was over, right? Goes into the same thing, man. Read.
Verse 9. If she be a wall, we will build upon her a palace of silver.
Right, read.
And if she be a door, we will enclose her with boards of cedar.
This is what we were supposed to be did with them, right? When it was going off, right? But read.
I am a wall, and my breasts like towers.
Right? That means we got full understanding, like it goes into a woman of age. Like we got full of understanding, right? Read.
Then was I in his eyes as one that found favor.
18 with his understanding.
Right. So guess what? If we would have did that, we'd have been in the Lord's eyes as one that had favor with the Lord, man. But what do? Deal out today wickedness. We just we seen them play the whore, and we played the whore with them. Right? This precept with that Jeremiah chapter 3, what was it up? On that 1 through 8. This precept with it. Make sure you brothers, y'all write that down beside it. And also the Ezekiel what? 16. Oh, yeah.
Would that be the same thing like we were going over like with the whole book?
Yep. Holding the book. Same thing.
Remember, the point rarely changes in the scriptures. The Most High God just constantly uses different parables and analogy to convey the same message over and over again. Brother just have to figure out the precepts to break it down. That's all that is.
We need a whole class on it.
Mm-hmm. Just type it in.
Brother John Lewis, we missed that one. Is there a purpose or a need for anointing oils? Yes, it is, brother. Where can brothers go just real quick, man?
Luke 16.
Even easier than that. One of the prayers that you learned in Sunday school, Psalms 23. Let's go there right quick. All praise.
Say they thinking we tripping. We say all praise. I left that church. All praise.
Well, I tell you, boy, you like me. You ain't going out of church. Hey, get out. All right.
So yeah, it is a purpose behind it, more so spiritual. Read this out.
Isaiah 50, Psalms 53.
Psalms 23.
Oh, select. The book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He making me to lie down in the green pasture.
Meaning giving us the understanding. Read on.
He leaded me beside the still waters.
Read on.
He restored my soul.
Coming into this truth restores our soul. Read on out.
He leaded me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
Read on out.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Being over here in this captivity is the shadow of death. Read on out.
I will fear no evil.
But we don't fear these things. Read on.
For thou art with me. Thy
Uh-huh.
rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
A rod is an instrument that you do what? That's used to protect you. The Bible is our rod. Read on.
Thy staff, they comfort me.
Uh-huh.
Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies.
Read on.
Thou anointest my head with oil.
Read that again out.
Thou anointest my head with oil.
So yes, the Most High God anoints our head with oil. Give me the book of Psalms. The book of Proverbs. Holy precept. Book of Proverbs, chapter. Who said that? Chapter what out? 21 and verse 20. What is that a precept for? What you call that out? A precept for what? Say it again. Yeah, you. What's the? Yeah, oil. Looking for precepts on oil. Read this right quick out.
Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20. There is a treasure to be desired
Uh-huh.
in oil,
And what?
in oil in the dwelling of the wise.
Oil is going into what? The understanding. When you're getting anointed with oil, we're getting anointed with the understanding of the Bible on a symbolic level, on a spiritual level. Read on up.
But a foolish man spendeth it up.
But a foolish man spended it up, going into a deeper point where Christ was going into what? Matthew chapter 25, verse 3 on down. You know, you had the 5 wise and the 5 foolish. The 5 wise, they kept their oil, meaning they kept the understanding until he came back. But the 5 foolish, they spent all their oil up, meaning they lost that understanding. So yes, oil is very important. Like we say, this is the time when we kings were anointed by it, priests were anointed by it. What you got?
Precept that with Psalm 45:7 or 92:10.
Read that right quick. Which one you want?
Psalms 45:7.
Read that. Put 'em for gladness.
Psalms 45:7.
Yeah.
Psalm chapter
Yeah.
45, verse 7. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness. Therefore, God, thy God, had anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellow.
92:10.
Read that right quick.
Psalm chapter 92, verse 10. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
Those are precepts that brothers can use. It's a good precept. Go ahead.
We got on the thing right quick.
We got Jehoiakim, Jonathan.
From Minnesota.
Acts say that is not Jonathan. Y'all don't look Jehoiakim. That was named Jehoiakim. Acts 13:46. Who were these Gentiles? Acts 13:46. Acts 13:46.
The book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 46. Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said, it was necessary that the word of God should first have been spoken to you. But seeing ye put it from you and judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life, lo, we turn to the Gentiles.
A lot of times, to break this thing down as simple as can be, when you read in the scriptures and it has the word Gentiles in it and it's talking about salvation, who are those Gentiles? Our people. When it's talking about Gentiles in just a sense outside of everlasting life, that's talking about the other nations. Because by default, we know that the kingdom is only for who? Israel. Brothers got to keep it that simple. We understand this. Read that again.
Acts chapter 13, verse 46. Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said, it was necessary that the word of God should first have been spoken to you.
Should first, and those are key words, first, meaning it was an order to this. Read on out.
But seeing he put it from you.
Going into what? The Jews, going into the southern tribe, but since they put it behind them, read on.
And judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life. Lo, we turn to the Gentile.
Now, what's the precept for that? What you got? No, let's go to the book of Zechariah because it gave key points in there. Zechariah 12:7. You got to go there first because he's literally giving us an order to it. So since they put it from them, lo, we turn to the Gentiles. Remember, the word Jew means what? What does the word Jew mean?
Judah.
Out of Judah. But Also going into what? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi going into the southern tribe. This, like we say, remember the Bible deals in prophecy. So you always have to line up not just precept upon precept, but also link up prophecies as well, which really is the same thing. Read this.
You want to just go to 7?
Yeah, Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 12, verse 7. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first.
Meaning what? Christ was going to go to who first? Go to the Jews first. But guess what? They put it far from him, like it says in the book of Acts. So he then did what? Went to the northern tribe. Do brothers understand that? Brother Jonathan, you understand that?
Yeah, you can also put Isaiah. After that, you can go to Isaiah 40, 42, 6 and 7.
Let's get that one too.
And to clearly understand, if you jump up a little bit, you'll definitely get to understand like with 45. But when the Jews saw the multitude, right? This was Paul and Barnabas going into the Jews that you had people that didn't believe at that time, right? So this is what he's saying. They thought that Paul was contradicting the law. Isaiah 42 and 6 and 7.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verses 6. So like the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 6. I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles.
For a light of the Gentiles, man. That's going into the Jews. A light to the Gentiles, to the northern kingdom, right? Read it.
To open the blind eyes.
To open their blind eyes, right? Go ahead.
To bring out the prisoners from the prison.
And
them that sit in darkness out of the prison house.
Because who were those that were prisoners at that time? Northern Kingdom. Because he had put off the Northern Kingdom, right? That's right. So he called it, and then you go to Isaiah 61 and 1. Then you get your Luke 4 and 17. Matthew 4.
Also, let's touch on this too. Go to Hosea chapter 8, verse 8. So we're gonna slow it down.
Slow it down. So did y'all get them precepts for that?
That's why I pulled the precepts so we can slow it down, because brothers just be shooting it out.
All right, you get your precept for that Isaiah 42, 6 and 7.
And y'all hold on, call the precept like this, man. We got people on camera want to follow along too. So if we don't call on y'all, just don't blurt it out.
Man, you keep going down. Isaiah 49 and 6, right? You know, in Isaiah 42, 6 and 7, they're talking about bringing them out of prison houses. You know, that's Isaiah 61 and 1 and Luke 4 and 17.
Go to Hosea chapter 8 and verse 8. Yeah, go to Hosea chapter 8 and verse 8.
The book of Hosea, chapter 8, verse 8. Israel swallowed up. Now they shall be, now shall they be among the Gentiles.
So this is the reason why he had to go to the Gentile, because Israel was among the Gentiles. That's when the Lord said swallowed up. They mean the Lord had swallowed them up into captivity. They was in sin, right? Read.
As a vessel wherein is no pleasure.
But the Lord had no pleasure in the northern tribe at the time, right? That's why the Lord had to send Paul to go get the northern tribe, right? Read.
Verse 9. For they are gone up to Assyria, a wild ass alone by himself.
Read.
Ephraim hath hired lovers.
You see how they go? They mean they played smooth. I'm talking about they did it all. He said they went up there by themselves. They didn't have God with them. They went up there by themselves, right? And the Lord called them a wild ass, man, right? Verse 10.
Verse 10. Yea, though they have hired among the nations.
Though they had gave into the nations, read.
Now will I gather them.
Now the Lord had gathered them. This is what we would read. This is what we would read in Acts, right? This is what we read in Acts, right? Read.
And they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes.
Right, because this is why Paul had to go get them, man. Right? The Jews, or you say the southern tribe didn't listen, so he had to go get the northern tribe, man. Hey, y'all listen to him, right? And like I said, to make them feel some type of way, right? Go ahead. What else we got?
The last question, one more
How
question.
long? All right, what you got? What question you got?
Like, what would you use to say the mark of the beast, like, sin or something?
What could you prove to what?
That's the mark of the beast
Yeah.
is sin.
Yeah.
Let's go to Revelation chapter 13.
I'm surprised this hey, I'm surprised this ain't came up before now.
Oh, yeah.
You want to start at 1?
Yeah.
16 to 1.
Yeah, straight to the point out.
The book of Ezekiel, the book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of
Jump
God.
down to verse, where you started at?
1 and then 2.
No, start at verse, get straight to the point. Read verse 16.
Oh, 16 and 16?
No, Revelations 13 and 16.
Oh. The book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand.
So this translates to small countries, great countries, rich countries, poor, free, and bond. To receive a what?
A mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
To make it simplify, let's go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 5. Because even how we break it down, let me ask brothers, what do the Most High God want us to be marked with? The laws. The beast is who? Esau. What does he want us to be marked with? Sin, wickedness. It's just that simple, man. A lot of times brothers want to make it deep. It's just that simple. You have to use the precepts to get that understanding. Don't read about the Most High God talking about putting a chip in our brain. And
Use the precept, man.
You don't read about that, man. Even though I understand we bring it up to today, that's the only thing that can stop you from, guess what, making it to the kingdom is sin. Read this right quick.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 4. Oh, you said verse 5?
Now you're in the spirit. I'll read that.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh, in that cry for.
So this is what the Most High God is doing. In this chapter, the Most High God was using the angels to do what? To mark the Israelites that was going to be saved from the destruction of the Babylonians. He was going to mark them. People that was keeping the commandments, people that sigh and cry for all the abominations. Read on up.
That be done in the midst thereof.
That be done in the midst of our people. Read on up.
And into the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite.
And what?
And smite.
And what?
And smite.
So to the others, to the angels, he was telling to the other people, go and smite. Smite means to what? To kill. Smite. Go in there and kill the ones that don't have this mark, meaning the ones that's not keeping the commandments. What you got up?
Is that similar to the Passover in a sense? You're marking the blood over the door.
To an extent,
But you wouldn't necessarily precept that though.
I mean, you can add that point to give a more edifying understanding. Read on up.
Salaki, smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women.
And what?
And women.
So if they didn't have this mark or this seal, a mark and a seal goes into the same thing. Give me Isaiah chapter 8, verse 16. This is the only thing that can stop you from making it to the kingdom. Is what? Sin.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 16. Bind up the testimony, Seal the law.
Seal the what?
Seal the law.
This is how you make it to the kingdom, by what? Being sealed or marked with the laws of God. So it's just the opposite. The beast wants us to be sealed and marked with what? With sin. That's it. Like we always tell brothers and sisters, everything is already marked. What you got, sis? Let's go get that. So when it talks about buying and selling, it's talking on a global level. It's not talking about you trying to go to the supermarket to buy Snickers bar. No, this is talking about if countries don't follow the policies of America, what does America do to them? They put taxes or tariffs or sanctions, the better word, sanctions on them to where they can't buy or sell. If you don't do what America says, if you don't follow their mark or their sin, they put sanctions on you to stop you from buying and selling. Similar to what they're doing in North Korea, when all they want to do is make nuclear weapons to protect their country. But they're putting sanctions on them and basically starving them out. Like how they're doing with Russia, like how they're doing with countries in Africa that don't want to push homosexuality. So they stop the Red Cross, they stop money going in there. They have what they call the IMS, the International Monetary Fund, to where they control and dictate the rate of your dollar. And they constantly, guess what, knock Africa off to basically starve them out because of the policies that they choose. Go back to that Revelation chapter 13.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16 from the top. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
So the policies or their sin, read on up.
And that no man might buy or sell,
read on,
save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
And that's the thing. What is the image? What is the mark of the beast? Sin. That's a point that we got to enforce constantly. Go to the book of Jeremiah right quick. Because if you're not following his policies, they will put these things on you.
Like you said, conforming to their image, right? People all that, man. Even they say that in verse 14, man. Gave them an image to conform to, man.
I want the one. What is it? Isaiah.
While you looking for that, go to. No, I want to change the point because I want.
Now go ahead. You touch on all points.
Go to Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 23. This goes into the buy and sell too, because on the spiritual asset, if you have a physical asset of the buy and sell, but you got a spiritual aspect of the buy and sell too, right? Read it. Proverbs 23 and verse 23. When you get there, I guess read. Kind of sticky.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 23. Buy the truth.
He said, buy the truth, read.
And sell it not.
What does that mean, brothers? Don't let nobody cause you to sin. This goes into buy the truth. They ain't somebody buying the Bible and don't no. It's not saying it. It said, buy the truth, sell it not. Meaning don't let nobody put you into sin. Right? Read.
Buy the truth and sell it not.
Read.
Also wisdom.
Also what?
Also wisdom.
Also wisdom, read.
And instruction.
And also instruction, read.
And understanding.
And understanding. These things that the Lord telling us, guess what? When we get these understanding, the Lord said, guess what? Buy this truth, sell it not. Right? These are the same people that has the mark is within them. Right? And we are not going to let nobody pull us out the way. Why? Because guess what? It's going to be a judgment come one day. Right? To the nation to everybody that does not have the mark in their foreheads, man.
Yeah, that's a great point too. By the truth, conform to the truth.
Conform, like
Wisdom,
fully conform to the truth.
Wisdom, understanding, conform to that now, right? And then when you get it, don't let it go. When they say don't sell it, don't give it up, man.
Right. These are the things that it talk about in Matthew chapter 13, like verse 44, when it goes into the hidden treasures, right? Also, it precepts with Proverbs. Go to Proverbs 2 right quick. It goes into Proverbs chapter 2, right? It goes into the hidden treasures that this man that the Lord was talking about in Matthew chapter 13, verse 44. It goes back into the hidden treasures. This man bought this field, right? Because he wanted to have this knowledge. He wanted to have the understanding. Start at verse 1.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou will receive my words and hide my commandments with thee.
Right? Because this is what we're supposed to be doing, hiding the Lord's commandments with us, man. We can't sell this thing. We can't let nobody sell us out of this truth, man. Read.
So that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom.
Right? Read.
And apply thine heart to understanding.
It's the same thing that in Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 23 is going into. Right? Read.
Yea, if thou criest after knowledge and liftest up thy voice for understanding.
Read.
If thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for his treasures.
Right? This is thing this right here precept with Matthew chapter 13 and verse 44. Right? This is the same treasure guess what, that we trying to seek for the Lord when the Lord puts it into our system, man. Right? Right?
No, it's one that can see. Did you have
Right? Go to Matthew chapter 13 and verse 40. Go to 44 right quick. What y'all looking for?
55:1. What is it?
Does it have with trade sanctions?
Something about bondage.
Oh no, that's the precept to what I can do.
Yeah, this. He's kind of reading the commentary. Read it.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field,
Right, read.
the which when a man hath found,
So when a man had found, read.
he hideth.
He
And
do what?
he hideth,
He hides it. Read.
and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he had, and buyeth that field.
Right, because guess what? This is what we get in this truth. When we get into the truth, we give up everything we got just to keep ourselves in the truth, no matter what. Right, and a lot of our brothers and sisters, sometimes we don't understand it, but these are things that the Lord literally gave us. Go to one more precept. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 3.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 3. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by thy name,
Right,
am the God of Israel.
right. He said this is given to and these treasures is going into these treasures that we don't want to give up. It said the treasure of darkness and hidden riches and secrets in place. Right, we don't want to let this truth go, man.
That they might not.
Precept for trade. You doing that?
Yeah.
Let's go to the book of Revelation chapter 18, verse 3. I think it's Ezekiel 28 and 5. That's one. Probably another one though. So I know a lot of times brothers say that it's a mark, like an actual chip that you put in your wrist. But the thing is, I mean, everything already is chipped. You know, phones are chipped, debit cards are chipped. You know, the RFID chip is just a radio frequency identification device. It's just a way to locate you. Esau knows where we are any damn way. You know, they already know these things. The point that it's talking about is on a spiritual level, to where you don't take on their sin. Read this right quick, God.
What did you want in Revelation?
Revelation chapter 18, verse 3.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of wrath, of the wrath of her fornication.
So all nations are made drunk with the wine of the wrath of her fornication, meaning America's policies have gotten the nations drunk, and have gotten them rich too by following their ways. Read on.
Salaki. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
And they have committed fornication with her, meaning what? They agree with her policies, her sin. Read on up.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
And that's the point right there. If you agree with America's policies, they do what? They make you a rich nation. So when you go against America's policies, they do what? They put sanctions on you and do what? Stop you from what? Buying and selling. You understand that, sis? No, you don't. Because I literally just looked at you. So I'm gonna bring the point again. This is why it's very important to understand geopolitics. What were you gonna ask? Go ahead. No, I understand that, sis. You know, but we gotta let the precepts lead our understanding.
Guess what? We know what they came from.
Yeah, we understand that.
We fully do what they came from, when they came out. Nobody, you ain't have to say that. But we
already know that, sis.
Right.
And the thing is, we don't mind answering these questions, but that's why it's very important to understand geopolitics, meaning the way nations govern their society. So, prime example, I'm gonna break it down in simplest terms. Africa pushes a no homosexuality policy, to where literally in some places in Africa, if they find that you deal in homosexuality, they will kill you. America doesn't like that. So America gives people money to do what they want. So if you don't do what America wants, they do what? They put sanctions on you to where you can't buy or sell or trade with other countries. That in 10 does what? Starves you out as a nation of people. So when you don't do what they want or commit the sin that they want you to do, this is what this is talking about. Read verse 18, that last part again.
Verse 3 from the top. Well, verse 3.
Yeah, you can start from the top.
Revelations 18:3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
The kings is going into what? The nations, the governments that guess what? That agree with America's policy. If you agree with them, they make you a rich nation. But if you don't, they can make you a poor nation. Read on up.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Through the abundance of her what?
Her delicacies.
So, like we say, the Most High God wants you to be marked with sin. The beast wants you to be what? God wants you to be marked with the laws. The beast wants you to be marked with sin. Give me the book of Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 5.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 5. By thy great wisdom, and by thy traffic.
And by thy what?
And by thy traffic.
And by thy traffic, meaning thy trade. They control the trade on a global scale. Meaning, if you don't agree with America, they can stop you from surviving as a nation of people to a degree. Now, a lot of people, like with Russia, they're having a hard time because Russia already had things in place to be able to withstand America's sanction. Read on up.
By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic has thou increased thy riches. And thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
And their heart is lifted up because guess what? They are able to control people's trade. They can get power. That in tunes, guess what? If you could control the trade in a country, you got that country by the balls. Meaning if they don't follow your laws or your way of life, you can stop them from buying and selling. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 13, verse 17.
The book of
Revelations chapter 13 and verse 17. When you get there, read that out.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast.
So, like we say, you can't buy, you can't survive unless you have the mark, meaning their policies or their sin. If you're not doing what America wants, guess what? They will starve you out. Read on.
Or the number of his name.
Or the number of his name, which is going into what? 666, which basically is going into destruction. Esau was what? Created to be destroyed. When you read the book of Romans, just paraphrase. They were created to be destroyed. Read on up.
Here is wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man.
For it is the number of a what?
Of a man.
Of a what?
Of a man.
What man?
Esau.
Esau. Esau was created to be destroyed. Read on now.
And his number is 600, 6.
Basically going into 666. But the point that we really trying to home in, sis, is mark, not literally a mark or the chip, but literally you being marked with the laws of the Most High.
Even keeping it, like you say, on another spiritual asset. Like you say, when we pull up in Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 23, everybody say, when you get the truth, right, and you can't, you know, say buy the truth and don't sell it.
That's right.
Why? Because Amos chapter 8, go there right quick. Amos chapter 8, and it's going to verse 11. Because when we don't give into Jacob's trouble is here, man. So when we don't give into their laws and their philosophies, what you think gonna happen? Persecution gonna come, man. Right? Amos chapter 8, verse 11.
The book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, said the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread.
Not a famine of bread, read.
Nor a thirst for water.
Nor a thirst for water, read.
But of hearing the words of the Lord.
Right? Because it's gonna come a time, man, that get the Bible. Guess what? Brothers, they ain't gonna have the internet that you can just go to the Bible. You ain't gonna have internet on your phone. You just can't got the Bible app that's gonna work out for you. Right? Electricity gone. What you gonna do when the electricity gone? You can't charge your phone no more. Right? That's why he said once we get this truth, we supposed to be getting this truth, guess what? And build it and let our spirit grow. So we can have this word within us, right? But read.
Verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea.
What are they gonna be doing?
And they shall wander from sea to sea.
Guess what? People gonna be wandering from sea to sea, right? Trying to get this knowledge, trying to get this word, right? But we gonna have to be the ones that's gonna have to keep it with them. So when the Lord come back to redeem us, guess what? He gonna get the ones that's really trying to do it. Right? Read.
Even and from the north even to the east,
Read.
they shall run to and fro.
Why do you think he said from the north to the east? Brothers, can y'all help me out? We were scattered. But meaning, guess what? From the north country all the way to the east to our homeland. Right? Meaning, guess what? They're gonna be literally trying to get this word, right? But it's gonna be a famine in the land, right? Because the ones that done bought this truth, it is not selling, it's not selling out to this world. We're gonna be the ones, Lord willing, we're gonna be the ones that the Lord will choose. Read.
And from the north even to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it.
That means you can't buy it, you can't sell it. You can't do nothing about it, but just guess what? The word's not there no more. We're gonna be running to and fro, trying to buy and sell, try to get this word, and it's not gonna be given to, because the understanding gonna be shut up from the people that did not want it. Right?
Let's go to the book of First Maccabees. What you have real quick, Hold on right quick before you hold your thought. Let's go to the book of First Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 1. Concerning that, what you have? Yes, seeing them. Well, we say to a degree, yes, but we know that the beast, well, yeah, because Esau is that beast. So we would say that, yeah. And that is another point that brothers can add. Let's go to the book of First Maccabees, chapter 8, and verse 1.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 1.
So this adds on to, if you're not following America's policy, showing you that America and the Romans are the same. They have the same spirit, they're the same race. Read on.
First Maccabees 8 and 1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men.
Read on.
And such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them.
As such as would lovingly accept. Read on now.
All that join themselves unto them, and make a league of enmity,
meaning a league of friendship, meaning you agree with their ways and how they rule. Read on.
With all that came unto them.
Jump down to verse 4. Verse 3.
Verse 3. And what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of the silver and gold, which is there.
Read on.
And that by their policy
by their policy, meaning their way of life, their laws, read on,
and patience,
uh-huh,
they had conquered all that place,
read on up,
though it would very far from them.
meaning who has these same attributes today? You mean to tell me America controls America, but they controls things that go on in Taiwan? That is power right there. And they get this from the Romans. Rome was where you know Rome is, but they were controlling things in Spain. They were controlling things in Great Britain. We don't know.
And the kings also that came against them from the uttermost parts of the earth,
Uh-huh.
till they had discomfited them,
So even kings that were far from them, they still discomforted them. Read on up.
and given them a great overthrow,
Read on.
so that the rest did give them tribute every year.
So guess what? Even just like with America, they take tribute from these other countries. Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. And it was told
Yeah,
him
it is.
besides how to destroy it and brought under their dominion all other
Read
all
on.
other kingdoms and isles that at any time resisted.
So America has this same spirit that where if you're not doing what they want, they would either help you or they will destroy you. Read on up.
But with their friends and such as relied upon them that kept an enmity.
Because if you keep their customs and their policy, they'll make you a rich country, like we just read in the book of Revelations 18:3. Read on.
And that they had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh,
Uh-huh.
and so much as all that heard of their name were afraid of them.
Guess what? Countries hear about America, they'd be afraid of them, man. Read on up.
Also, that whom they would help to a kingdom,
Uh-huh.
those reigned,
Those what?
those reigned,
Read on up.
in whom again they would, they displaced.
And guess what? If you did follow them, guess what? That translates to Revelation 13:7. They will stop you from buying and selling. Read on up.
Finally, that they were greatly exalted.
And guess what? America is greatly exalted. They literally, like we say, you know that they're greatly exalted because guess what? If you're not speaking English, a lot of times they're not dealing with you. You trying to do business with a Fortune 500 company, 9 times out of 10, they speak in English, man. They speak in English and they doing what? Wearing suits. You mean to tell me people in China that got those Komodos and you gonna wear a damn suit? No, they'll let you know who in power, man. So, like we say, this is going into like they're seeing if you take on their policies. Y'all got something?
Verse 15.
Verse 15. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily.
What is it? What country is that, man? This is literally in the Bible talking about America's government, man. I'm talking about literally. Watch this, read.
Consulting always for the people.
Do they not do that? Man, you can cut on CNN and in the middle of the night, somebody's there consulting about what's going to happen. Right, read.
To the end they might be well ordered.
Because they want to well order our country from the top to the bottom. They don't miss a scratch when they come to us, man. Because if they do miss a scratch, guess what? We won't wake up. All praise to the Most High that He gave us a chance to wake up. Because if it wasn't for that, we would not wake up, right? But read it.
And that they committed their government to one man every year.
But now it's every 4 years instead of every year. Y'all brothers and sisters get that, right? Read.
Who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one.
Every country gonna be obedient to that one
Who
man.
is that one? What do they call that one today? A president.
Right? Read.
And that there was neither envy nor emulation amongst them.
Right? Because guess what? If you don't choose what they tell you to do, they're gonna put sanctions on your butt, and you can't get it because you ain't got it. Right?
Just like our home.
Right?
Yeah.
Hold on, she's got it first.
Can you precept that with John 11:48 as well?
47, 48, like that. I mean, brothers and sisters had it written down beside of John 11, 47, 48, beside that precept.
16. I got it for 12.
Right? But what you got, you right?
So I was gonna ask, so basically America is structured off of both Rome and Greece.
And verse 9. Off of Rome, off of Greece, off of Spain. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. Moreover, how the Grecians had determined to come and destroy them.
Because Grecia, it was the Rome, the Spain, and the Grecian, right? All of them was one.
That's right. Because the Romans eventually did what? Merged with the Grecians. It became what? The Greco-Roman
captivity. That's right. Or the Greco-Roman or the Roman-Greco captivity. Either way, it was the same. It was the same captivity, putting us through the same mess. Guess what? Now it's the Roman-Greco United States captivity.
That's right. All rolled up into one.
Rolled up to one big old roll, right?
Did you understand that, sis? What part did you want to focus in on? Just the buying and the selling?
Right.
But did you understand it with those precepts? Sometimes you may have to meditate on it. And then to come, I know a lot of times people try to make it individually, but this is talking on a global scale. This is talking about countries. America's not worried about one person. You know what I'm saying? They trying to take over countries, nations. What you have, Mother Mariah? Maybe you'll remember it.
It was something concerning that long one that we did. I think, I can't think of it right now.
Let me bring out some more precepts if you remember. Yeah, go ahead.
So in that Revelation 13, like how you was breaking it down with like with the United States, they're not really dealing with Africa because Africa, they don't want to submit to their will.
That's right.
Back in Revelation 13:16.
Mm-hmm.
Could you precept that First Maccabees 1:11 with that? I wanted to when it say like, when we go with the heathen, we'll have much prosperity.
Read that right quick.
How we make a covenant with the heathens. Yeah. I mean, I would teach with it too. I would teach with it too. I mean, if I'm doing a class or to give an example, yeah.
Even if I'm on the street, I bring that point up. But I mean, it's not that it's a bad one, but you gotta be able to put, you gotta put it together. What you gotta do?
Second Ezra 12 and 10, can we fix up that with 13? First Maccabees 8 and 13.
Second Ezra.
I'm 12 and 10. I like
Do you know what Second Ezra chapter 12 going into? Let me see. What's that going into? I'm asking a question. I'm talking about, but do you know what Second Ezra chapter 12, chapter 11 and 12 going into? That goes into the 12 feathers. I don't know, but you might have to kind of bag up off and set your cup down a little bit.
Yeah, I like the end of Second Ezra 12. Not the.
Is there a scripture? I don't know what scripture is, but I read
Yeah, hold on a second.
But is there a scripture that says that the Israelites taught the other nations to be wicked? How to be wicked?
No, it's plenty of scriptures don't say we took their ways.
I don't think it showed that we taught them. It showed that we were taught.
Or show them how to be wicked? I mean, by our wickedness.
No, because
Somewhere in Isaiah or to Jeremiah.
Say it again.
Jeremiah 2:13.
We have perverted God's ways more than a nation.
Watch from the start our way to seek love. Therefore, you taught the weak ones your way.
Your way.
That's it. That's one I thought.
oh, it's my why trimming, but you got to see the first part of it. It said, "Why trimmest thy ways?" We trimmed our we because guess what? We trimmed our ways to seek love from them. And guess what? Our people do the same thing right now. Trim our damn ways to seek love from them. Dang on.
But now I wouldn't say in that context, sis, because remember the nations are already wicked. Even when you read in the book of Genesis, chapter 6,
Right.
You know, the nations that was even before Israel was a nation. You know, so they was already doing wickedness.
Because we were made to be immortal. So the first thing that we was taught was wickedness from another nation. Right? Even going back to Adam, when they took on the customs of the other nation, that was us learning wickedness right there. Not us teaching. So from the jump, we learned it. It wasn't something that we taught them. We learned it from the beginning. So I wouldn't necessarily say that we taught.
Yeah, as in a whole.
Right.
Did they learn some things here and there? Yes, but
Yeah,
I would
for
always
sure.
put the emphasis more on the other nation.
That's right.
The
You got
opposite way.
Right, but you got to go to what John 8:44. Let's go there. Right.
And remember, sis, a lot of times in context, wicked don't always necessarily mean Esau. Sometimes we ourselves
Yeah,
can
that
be the
mean our
wicked.
own people.
Yeah, we ourselves can be the wicked.
Because we teaching our daughters and our sons wickedness each and every day. Right? How to grow up and be the next criminal, how to be the next jailmate, how to be the next hoe, how to be the next bot, next stripper, right? We teach them wickedness every day.
Read it up.
The book of St. John, chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning.
Goes into the spirit of Cain, right? Read.
And abode not in the truth.
And abode not in the truth by keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments. Read.
Because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie,
Read.
he speak of his own.
When he speaketh a lie, he speak of his own self, man. Right? Read.
For he is a liar and the father of it.
Because guess what, man? He is the father of this wicked mother, man. Right?
That's right.
And brothers and sisters understand, like we say, when Christ is going in, he's going in on our people. Just because you're an Israelite don't mean you righteous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some Israelites do have the spirit of Cain on them.
That's right.
Even though they Israelites. Do brothers and sisters understand that? Some of them still have wickedness. We have these pastors. They understand and know that they Israelites, but they still teach our people Christianity.
Man, you know what, man? Every time I hear the word pastor, I just get the word bastard in my mind. I don't know why. I get the word bastard. Because that's the kind of spirit they got in us. They got a bastard spirit, man. Right? These Christian pastors. Man, what you know, brothers, sisters got any more questions? We got some online on.
Just one more online.
We got online. Now we got, this is
The last one.
opinion of fasting on the Sabbath. Is it very good? It says, John, Mr. Go.
This one, bro. John Lewis, he said there's numerology against God, and can you give me scripture explaining so?
Well, not necessarily, because we know in the scriptures that numbers do have spiritual meanings. So let's go to the book of Proverbs. Now, the thing is, you don't want to go into King David's spirit to where he was numbering the people to see how many people he had following him.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to go into that type of spirit. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. But the Bible does deal in numerology. So we know, like we say, the number 7 is spiritual for completion, 10, 12. A lot of numbers are very, very spiritual. Go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 18. Well, no, start up at verse where it goes into the number 3 and 4. Start at verse 14, 15.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 15. The horse leech had 2 daughters, crying, Give, give. There are 3 things that are never satisfied. Yea, 4 things say not, it is enough.
So we have, even in this context where it say 3 can mean a lot amount before it's going into what? Completion. Similar to how we say a lot of times how we use numerology. I'll be back in 5 minutes. You know, that's slang talk for 15, 20 minutes, man. You know how I get there, an hour. You know how people be,
CP.
or like how we say, bro, I ain't seen you in a minute. Does it literally mean we ain't seen that brother or sister in 60 seconds? No, we talking numerology all the time. When you get that from the scripture.
And that mean it could be 20 years.
Yeah, it
Like
that
that.
thing varies for real. Read on up.
So like in verse 16, the grave and the barren womb, the earth that is not filled with water, and the fire that said not, it is enough. The eye that mocketh at his father and despises to obey his mother.
It says these are 3 things that are never satisfied. Yea, 4 things say not, it is enough. And it's given examples of these things, meaning what? Most or straight completion. How we just read from verse 16, meaning the grave is never filled up, man. You know, it's people that die continually every day. Read on up.
The ravens of the valley shall pick it out, and the young eagles shall eat it. There be 3 things which are too wonderful for me, yea, 4 which I know not. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maid.
Because guess what? These things does what continually go on. These things just don't go on for 3 or 4 times. No, Most High God is showing you that these numbers are spiritual. Yes, and there's plenty of numerology in the Bible. Like 144,000, 12 tribes, 12,000. What you got out?
But did that come from the Babylonians who were trying to perfect astrology?
No, remember, we're talking about astrology and numerology.
Correct, that's where numerology came from. The Chaldeans and the Babylonians in 2300.
Well, where you get that from, right?
I just looked up the order for it.
A lot of I'm gonna tell you, if that thing don't line up with the Bible,
Because
I wouldn't run with it.
It does go into astrology though. 10th month, certain day, do this kind of sign.
I would say no, because the thing is, we go by what the precepts say. Because the Bible tells us he had found out all the ways of knowledge and had given it unto Jacob. So just because we didn't do it, or people may say they started it as a nation, Most High God always had people, even from the time of Adam. Who's to say that Adam didn't know about that? Remember, he was the Lord on the earth.
But what I'm saying is, we had it. We was doing it right. They got a little whip of it and then polluted it and turned it into something wicked.
Yeah, that's always the case. But the point that you make it that like they started it. Like, I would go that far.
I mean, because I know people be talking about this angel number and all this stuff here. Going into that type of numerology, we know that's not of the Most High God. Yeah, that's going into the spirits and things of that nature, wizards. But like I said, when we see numerology, it's like 144, like 7 means completion in the Bible. Then yes, now I understand what you're saying. We had it. They tried to take it and put other stuff with it.
Right. Let's go to Deuteronomy right quick. Chapter 17. Because like you say, but going into what kind of, I guess what you talking about, because they was led to worship those things.
Yeah.
Right. And those before those captivity. Right. Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 3.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 3. And hath gone and served other gods and worshiped them, either sun or moon or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded.
Right? Because the Lord ain't never gave us a zodiac sign. Right? He never gave us all this different stuff that they use. The Lord never commanded us to have none of those things. Right? Read.
Verse 4. And it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it.
Because guess what? The other nations, that's what they dwelt in, man. They wanted all of it, but we didn't want, the Lord didn't want that for us, right? Read.
And inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel.
Right? Those things was abomination that if we went to go serve those things, man.
That's right.
Right? Those are things that the Lord calls our idol.
Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 27. Because I wouldn't say that they started it, but to add to the point, like I said, the scripture that we're going to bring out, they use those things for evil. We know that even like with Esau, the Most High God gave us fire, water. But remember, Esau did what? Turn those things into nuclear weapons. Read this right quick, Art.
The book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 27. All these things are for good to the godly.
To the who?
To the godly.
Read on, Art.
So to the sinners, they are turned into evil.
Meaning what? Fire, wind, water, all the elements that the Most High God has given us. For righteous people, we're going to use that for good. But for evil people, they're going to find some type of way to be destructive with. You know, just thinking about all the elements. And they use that to split an atom to, guess what, to decimate cities. Now, who will come up with something like that, man? That's crazy as hell, man. And we know that they are the wicked just by even the inventions that they create, man. You know, think about all these things, these torture instruments and all these things, weapons and so forth, guns. You know, these things are turned into wicked by the sinners.
You know, ultimately, we should be seeking the Lord, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Numbers and things, you know, we understand that, but let's go to Amos 5 and 8. They definitely try to put this stuff together, man. They sister that family doctor said, "You don't know your angel numbers?" Hey,
Yo, who knows?
angel numbers.
Sister, you don't either.
You don't
Hell,
know your angel number? Hell is that?
for real.
He said, "Brother, you a king, you don't know your angel number." I say, "Well, shoot."
Say, what's yours?
You right about being a king, but I don't know about no angel number though. You tripping on that. Well, read this Amos 5 and 8.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 8. Seek him that maketh the 7 stars and Orion.
It says, "Seek him who maketh the 7 stars in Orion," right? We're not worried about these different numbers, astrology, all that stuff, man. We go seek the Lord who made astrology, right? Who made the heavens, who made the stars. Amos 5 and 8. Read that again.
Amos chapter 5, verse 8. Seek him that maketh the 7 stars and Orion, and turneth the shadow of death into the morning, and maketh the day dark with night, that calleth for the waters of the sea,
Right.
and poureth them out upon the face of the earth. The Lord is his name.
So we know ultimately that this is who we should be seeking, the Most High God. You know, we're not really into the number play and all that in the games of that nature, but we should seek him that made the stars, made Orion, right? That's what we should be seeking ultimately. So,
What you have, Judah? What you been say, Art?
No, I was just saying, Joe.
With Orion and Arcturus. Yeah.
Can we precept?
Those are constellations of the stars.
Can we precept 5 and 8 or the verse?
Pick one out. We won't be all over the place. Start with one of them.
Can we precept Deuteronomy 17 and read with Deuteronomy 4 and 19? Yeah.
Any other questions out there?
Thinking about which one I was gonna pull.
Hold on, son.
Go ahead, sis.
A marriage question.
Mhm.
So the husband as the head. Can he have a female that's a best friend? Because he say so, because he the head,
Mhm.
and vice versa. Can his wife have a best friend who's a male? And he okay with it? Because, you know, he the head, he said it's okay. Is that okay?
I mean, that's between the husband and the wife. If
who
he-
said it's okay? Did he say it's okay?
Hey,
Shit, he said it's okay. Then. Shoot.
Genesis chapter
What
3,
Genesis
verse
3 and
18?
16 say?
16.
What Genesis 3 and 16 say?
Now the thing is,
What
with
you mean, Miss
counsel,
Folly? Hold on. Man.
no, hold on your piece out. The thing is, Genesis 3 and 16. Now, will we counsel just because things may be lawful don't mean that they're expedient. So we will give that brother that counsel. Brother don't have to take it. You know, brother don't have to take it.
You gotta also think like this too. A lot of us thinking about us like, okay, we in captivity. A lot of us, we didn't grow up with each other. We had people we knew way before other people. And that person could be very well, some of these people could be considered as your family. And ain't never, like, no kind of way have ever did that. Should you just cast them off? Guess what? If your husband says it's cool with that, I mean, with us, we gonna be like,
No.
no. But guess what? we at the end of the day, we don't run nobody's household.
That's right.
We don't run your household. We're not gonna run your life. Guess what? We're not gonna drive your car.
We're gonna give you the precepts,
and that's it.
And it's upon you to take them. Now I will go to Sirach where it tells you. Now that's what we said. We would have to understand the whole matter. Right. Sitting out at all with another man's wife. Now, hey, if that other man had a wife and there's complications between that, we will go somewhere else. But as far as you just standing on that, that's a decision that husband will have to make. You understand that, Ehud?
Yeah, that's all I was going to
Yeah, I understand.
I believe you. We verse. Anybody else got something?
Sister, there you go ahead, sis.
I wanted to know, does the Star of David represent the lily star? I mean, the lily flower?
Not to us, it doesn't.
Okay, because I'm about to say, if so, what's the precept?
Yeah, it's not.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's camps that, I mean,
that teach that, but we don't believe in that.
Okay.
You know, I know we see with the lilies, we just don't believe in that. You know, Amos chapter 5, brothers know the precept. Let's get there right quick.
I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of brothers in the East Coast do that. I just say it like this. They be on their time. But they do a lot of stuff in the East Coast we don't do here too. They do a lot of stuff that we don't do. Right.
Verse 26, read this out.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 26. But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, and chin your images, the star of your God.
So we know that these were idols that our people made to honor Molech and Moab and all these different nations. Read on out.
Which ye made to yourselves.
Read on out. Which ye have made to yourselves. And that's the point right there. We make these imagery to ourselves because we don't read in the scriptures where it says to do that. You know, we don't read that. Read on out.
Therefore, I will cause you to go into captivity beyond Damascus.
So since we dealt in idolatry, this is the punishment for that. Read on out.
Said the Lord God, whose name is the God of hosts.
Whose name is the what?
God of hosts.
So we see and we attribute that to what? To idolatry, because we see where the Most High God was doing what? Bringing out judgments against that. Now, I know brothers will say, you know, it's not, we just were, but we know ultimately that does come from people saying the Star of David. You know, so you have to kind of watch that thing, man.
Okay. I don't know what precept can they say there's a star there?
That's the point.
That's the point. Because I mean, they can't find it.
That's right.
There's no verse in it that says it.
Go ahead.
I do want to ask, I be wearing mine. I don't attribute it to say the Star of David. You know what I'm saying? I see it as, like, since we're going into like one of the drawings of the pomegranates that was in the temple.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know if I'm
Yeah, we understand that. I know brothers attribute that, but I would just tell a brother, just design a lily. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would tell.
Why don't you just get a lily?
You know, get a lily.
Yeah.
What you finna say, Abraham or Judah? Okay. Yeah, that's what we would just tell brothers. We understand, but I'm knowing that can craft one, but I know we brothers were that in there because they know where we stand on it. So we understand it. Because we don't have to talk with Ehud
and other camp leaders too.
That's right.
About this. So I mean, it's a lot of brothers, like you say, they hold fast to it. I mean, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I know he had Sister Danielle. She was asking if men. Oh yeah, read that out my phone.
If men are the rulers, what will be the women's job in the kingdom?
Serve the Lord.
That's right. It would be the same job that they have here.
Or role.
The same role that they're supposed to have here, but only more righteous. Let's get that. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16, real quick. Be the same role. The roles won't change. We'll just be perfecting it in the kingdom. They will be perfected. So we don't have to fight sisters in the headlock to ask for a sandwich. I just want bread and meat. Damn. He ain't got to cut the vegetables. You know, sisters know what y'all deal with. Sisters know. Not these battle axe sisters up in here, though. Look at them. Look at them sisters. Damn sisters. Read this.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 16.
No, shouts out to the sisters. Been on point, man. You know, all praise to the Most High. Y'all continue in the same spirit. Read this out.
Genesis 3 and 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
And your desire is to your husband. That's the same road that sisters will have in the kingdom. But sisters will be on a much, much higher level. To a much higher level. Meaning what? Gonna throw it out there. Gonna rattle some feathers. Hey. Brother's brain ain't multiple wives up in there. Sisters ain't gonna say a damn thing. Because sisters gonna be in order. I see them looks and I don't give a damn.
But guess what? Because I'm gonna tell you, this
Sister Hanaya. Look at it out. Sister Brandy. Sister Keo. Mama Mariah. Gonna make you a 29 up in the kingdom.
Watch this. Sisters, the main reason why sisters ain't gonna care, because guess what? If I'm gonna tell you something, if we had all the riches and the glory right now, the sisters won't say a damn thing right now. Because guess what? They hardly ever say something to a broke Negro. If a Negro had to have a piece of change, sister ain't gonna say a damn thing. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, man. Deuteronomy chapter 28, starting verse 56, man. Because if the person that controls everything, guess what? We're gonna be the ones that controlling every damn thing, man. So they gonna say nothing, because guess what? That love gonna be spread abroad, right? Deuteronomy 28, verse 56.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 56.
Read.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not have ventured to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness.
See, hold on. For delicateness and tenderness, right? My bad. Y'all see how y'all gonna be in the kingdom? We're gonna read that one more time.
He ain't put no work in, man.
You ain't got to do nothing.
Even stepping on that ground.
Your feet ain't gonna touch the ground. They're gonna be like the little thing. You know how to have it. They got the thing. It's got 4 men. Of course, they gonna be some eunuchs.
They gonna love that. My husband told him to carry me. He carrying 4 other women to his other wives too. They gonna love it.
You saw all y'all eunuchs.
They gonna love it. They gonna be carried together.
Right, loving it. I have our breed for them right there. You saw y'all at the house, y'all eunuchs. We don't even think about it.
Talking about ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Right. Read verse 56.
The tender and delicate woman among you.
He said a tender and delicate woman that is among us, right? Read.
Which would not have ventured to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness.
Right, because guess what? This is how y'all gonna be in y'all glory. But outside the glory, read the rest.
Her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom.
This is what happens when sisters don't have everything they want. Because in the kingdom, y'all pretty much gonna get what y'all want.
That's right.
So when y'all don't get what y'all want, y'all eyes is evil towards us. Damn, this nigga never do know what I want to do. He'll never watch the show I don't want to watch. Goddamn, he can't never go to the store. I don't want to go to the store. Guess what? Because a Negro don't do what you want. Now he's a bastard and he's everything else. Come on, man. We got to shake that, man. Right? You got to get to that level. You ain't made it there yet. Our sisters want to be in the kingdom right now. Y'all not in the kingdom. Niggas ain't going to do what you tell them to do. Right? And then furthermore, sisters, y'all don't run nothing.
Let's get that Ezekiel 36 and 26. Go on that. You know, but sisters will have that same role, just more perfected, man. No attitude, no sisters from Judah got that mouth on them, boy. And we pray for that, man, that brothers get in order, because even today, just because brothers have multiple wives don't mean that brothers is in order at this time. So brothers are even being more order. You know, we all are being more order. Let's get that. But this has to happen first.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 26.
Uh-huh.
A new heart also will I give you.
Ezekiel 36 and 26.
Yeah.
36, 26, read that again.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 26. A new heart also will I give you,
Uh-huh.
and a new spirit will I put within you.
So the Most High God got to give us that new heart, meaning that new mind and a new spirit, to where when these laws come out, sisters not bucking up to it, because it literally says in the law that a brother can have multiple wives. It says in the law that sisters obey their husbands and he shall rule over you in righteousness, not wickedness. Read on.
And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh.
And he gonna take away that stiff heart to where you want to buck up against certain laws that you don't like. Sister's not gonna have that type of spirit in the kingdom. Read on out.
And I will give you a heart of flesh.
And the Most High God is gonna give us a heart of flesh, meaning what? He's gonna put the laws in our inward parts. We're programmed automatically to do what the Bible say without argument or out debate. You know, that's a beautiful thing right there, man. That's what we're working on this for right now, man.
It's the whole reason. Right? What you got, Mama Ryan?
Let's get there right quick.
Go to Exodus. Chapter 21 and verse 10.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife,
Stop.
If he take him another wife, if he take him another wife,
Bible.
If he take him another wife,
Get it?
if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
You see that, Mama Ryan?
Meaning, if he take those wives as he can lawfully, he has to protect and provide for each of those wives. Hold on, we're gonna get some more because I want to go to this one. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. We want to cover it inside and out because I know a lot of times Christian sisters love to go to this one without any understanding of it. The one in yeah, say it again. That one, but it's another one. Verse, say it again. Yeah, that's the one he just called us another one. But read that one though.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 15. If a man have two wives,
Stop.
That's right. Oh, I got what I want. Deuteronomy 17 and 17. But read that. Is that what he was saying? I thought he said 21 and 15.
I said 21. He said 17, 17.
Who said that? It was, okay, all praise God.
We can't hear him because he's talking like this.
Read that right quick, God.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 17. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away.
Stop right there. Any sister, what does that scripture mean? Can any sister explain that? Can you explain that, Mother Mariah?
Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 17. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away.
What does that mean? Any sister want to try, y'all? Go ahead, sister. Say it again, sis. That it don't take his mind away from the Most High. You can have multiple wives, but if those multiple wives don't take your mind away from worshiping the Lord, you shouldn't do it. So Christian sisters would say, neither shall he multiply wives to himself. Stop, and that's it. No. Keep reading. That his heart turn not away. That's the point. It's similar to even when you jump up, read verse 16. It's the same context.
Verse 16. But he shall not multiply horses to himself.
See that?
Horses to himself. What's the modern day horse today? A car. Just imagine King Solomon. He had hundreds of horses. That's equivalent to you having hundreds of cars. But you so focused in on the cars, you forget about the Lord.
Right? You forget about reading. You forget about study.
That's right.
Forget about building. Why you think King Solomon asked what he asked for? Don't he said, "Yes, give me wisdom, man." Right? Don't give me too little that I be poor and I forget about you, or give me too rich that I be so high and mighty that I forget about you.
Yeah, that Proverbs 30:8.
Right? Go
But
ahead.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I see you brothers in here looking, man. We done told y'all though. They looking, they got their hair. Say, man. Don't
Read
come,
that verse
don't-
17 for your ass too.
For real, that's
You gotta
especially
check it
for the
out.
brothers.
Don't come in here with that mess, man. If you ain't ready, man, don't do it, man.
Or they will.
I'm gonna tell you, brothers, like how we tell them, hey, it's expedient, but it's not lawful. Your ass don't understand basic precepts. You ain't got a place to stay. You ain't got a place to put the wife. Sit your ass down somewhere, bro. Learn and get built up.
That's right. Build yourself up before you do that.
For real.
What you got, Fred?
Yeah. Break this down for me, Isaiah 4:1.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
You know what that thing mean. He trying to
For
rub
real,
names
man.
on the sisters, man.
But listen how it's being read. Though. Just read it.
You trying to rub that thing in.
I'm gonna tell you something. Brothers have Q&As because we don't meditated on scripture. Don't think that brothers ain't meditated on precepts. All these things is common to men, right? So guess what? It's gonna be the same urges in the truth the whole time. You brothers get 10 years in the truth. Guess what? They're gonna be the same urge that we see brothers come in with. Guess what? Y'all gonna do the same thing. Y'all gonna see the same urge. You're gonna see sisters come in and do the same damn thing. Guess what? No matter what. Have you seen anybody do something specially just so different that you ain't never seen it before? You ain't never seen that. I ain't seen it either.
Such a common man.
We ain't never seen somebody just do something so extra that you ain't, even a sister that been here for a while, have you ever seen somebody did something so extra that you couldn't believe they ain't never did it? It's been the same thing over and over again. It's just been a different damn sister. That's it, ain't it? Right? And it's just been a different brother, right? Let's read Isaiah 4:1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 1.
Read it.
And in that day,
In there what?
And in that day,
Read.
7 women shall take hold of one man.
Okay. It says 7 women on oh man, you brothers, y'all can't wait for that day. You brothers can't even keep, you brothers couldn't, I'm gonna tell y'all something, sister. These brothers can't handle one damn woman, man.
They handle their damn self, but let alone one woman.
If you get 7 of them, well, the Lord gonna have to put a righteous spirit on us, man. They'll handle
Right.
7 women. Man, look here. Some of these brothers might can make it maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3. 7? Well, you got to have King Solomon time 2 in you right now in order to get to 7 women.
And you see, he even went off.
Boy.
So how much you?
Right? But watch it though, read it.
And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying,
That's what they gonna say.
we will eat our own
It
bread,
said we're gonna eat our own bread, right? Read.
wear our own apparel.
And we're gonna wear our own apparel, read.
Only let us be called by thy name,
To do
to
what?
take away our reproach.
What does that mean? Now, well, okay, hold on, watch this. He asked the question. Why did you ask the question?
Because, okay, from what y'all was saying about men having multiple wives, they said in that day, 7 women gonna be out for one man.
Mm-hmm.
Not the man looking for one, the 7 women gonna
No, don't construe it.
No.
No, don't construe it. It
It said
listen,
to take hold.
to take hold to one man.
That don't mean that she's necessarily looking.
Yeah.
No, that just means that they're gonna be willing in that day.
They're gonna be damn sure willing.
It ain't no good Negroes out here right now.
That's right.
Probably 60 of them homosexuals, right? 20 of them trying to keep the law, and the other 20 here, they just out there playing 2K, smoking K2.
K2 playing 2K.
You know what I'm saying?
Watch this.
So,
but just the point though, the biggest point of that, because we done had debate over this a whole bunch of times. The point of that, it's gonna be right before the kingdom to me. I'm gonna put that out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's no reproach in the kingdom.
The thing is, when things hit the fan, you talking about Jacob's trouble.
That's right. This is a time of Jacob's trouble. When things hit the fan, guess what? Sister gonna need that.
you ain't got no man?
She gonna need somebody to trust.
And to God. A man of the Lord.
Let me hold on to him with you. Because it's hard out here.
Now,
I guess what it is. What it is.
Yeah, he gonna make a man. You right. He gonna make a man more precious than gold. In that
That's
day.
right. He's
Right.
gonna make a man more precious to go. He's gonna be, hey. Because guess what?
What you have, Officer Keenan?
It's
Go
gonna
ahead.
come a
Doc.
day.
No, I was just gonna comment that when I read that, that's talking about because men going to war and a lot of them are gonna be killed off.
Yeah, that's right.
And so the women ain't gonna have no choice but to take over to one man because it's gonna be
Yeah, not a lot of men.
a shortage of men.
That's right.
Like it is today. It's 7 women to 1 man right now. So that's the thing when Jacob trouble hit and the men we do have wind up dying, then that's gonna be making short. So that's what they're talking about.
That's right.
So some of the men in here that think they're gonna have 7 women, you might be one of them that die in war.
Church.
You might be one that die in war. It is what it is.
Go ahead, sis.
And also, does it
See?
mean my 7 being the number of completion? It's not necessarily 7.
No, it's not. No, it's just
Right.
a number. That's
Right.
right.
It could be
Exactly.
20.
2,
It could be 2. It could be
3,
just one.
18,
That's right.
14.
You gotta think. When somebody say, I mean, like I said, man, like you know the term, man. They got several of. I got several of them at the house. That mean I got 7. I can have more than 7.
That's right.
Right?
Give me that Isaiah 13 and 12 right quick. Because I know this could be a touchy subject with sisters. But like we said, a lot of times sisters got to understand, hey, know the husband that you with, understand the things that you done been taught and raised up on. You know, that's why it's very pivotal to prove one another. To where you know whether or not a brother is going down that path. And I'm gonna tell you, you got wicked brothers that say you the only one, then later on. You know, he trying to come with another nigga that's wicked as hell. Like, be righteous up front, bro.
Because Negroes gotta. I'm gonna tell you something.
I said, y'all.
For real. Negroes be confused with the only one and number one.
Yeah.
Yes, bro. Negroes got that. They be
That's real.
confused, man.
That's real, man.
Right? It's a confusion of numbers.
No, you're number one. Not the only one.
I'm gonna tell you, Negroes that's not built up, that don't have a history, brother, sit your $5 behind tail down. Read this right quick.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
So it's gonna be a lack of men, like Officer Keenan was going into. It's gonna be a lack of men during destruction time. So we know, guess what? Sisters will be looking for men to help guide them according to the law. Read on.
Verse 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger.
So we know this is also going into destruction. But like we say, hey, we pray for those days that everything will be in order in that day, and then brothers can move forward to how they see fit.
Right? Because I'm telling you, a lot of brothers right now, when they use this scripture, boy, they can't wait to make it to the king. Boy, I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna be bouncing out the wall with these women. Bro, don't y'all know we still gonna be serving the Lord and the King?
That's right.
Don't y'all know we still gonna keep the Sabbath days? We still gonna be coming to the high holy days. Don't you know this still got to be? Guess what? You're gonna have to run nations and countries and stores. We're gonna be trading places, just like how they run everything. We're gonna be running everything.
That's right.
Do you think you're gonna have time for all of that? I'm asking brothers, y'all think some brothers gonna have a little more time? Because like you say, we ain't gonna be on no damn golf course. We might watch Esau do some mess, man. You know?
We gonna watch them do something.
You gonna
do everything.
I mean, and they're gonna be our entertainment, man. They're gonna be our song and dance, right?
That's right.
So it's gonna be a lot with that, man. We're gonna enjoy the fruits of our labor, man. Right? I just bring up this other subject, man. Esau just ride, man. I drive truck. Man, I go past the grocery store. Esau, why is y'all sitting out in front of these damn grocery stores all day long, man? Just reading books. They ain't got nothing to do, man. They ain't got a damn, guess what, man? They gonna get out here hustling, busting, trying to make it to the store because you gotta go home and feed them kids. Well, Esau ain't got a damn thing to do in their spare time. Hey, your job while you busting your ass in the warehouse, they going to play golf. They'll be back at 2 or 3 o'clock. And when they come back, guess what? All the work better be done. Or these niggas fired. Right? That's how they roll, man. We just trade places. Don't worry about it. We'll be all right.
Any other questions?
That Amos 5:26, do we use that for people that's in astrology? Like, I think it's called astrology.
No, it's other laws you can use for that.
It's plenty.
Just use the laws for that.
Yeah, we already went for it.
Yeah, I just went through that.
Isaiah 8:19. Nah, we just talked about the Amos 5.
Go to Deuteronomy 4:19 right quick.
Yeah, right.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 19. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
Because that's what the other nations was doing. They was worshiping these other gods. The sun, the sun god, the moon god, stars, right? They were worship the constellation in the skies, man. Right? The rain gods, right? They were worshiping everything, man. Clouds, cows, right? They'll cut a dog head they'll cut the dog head and have the skull to put on top of their head. Why you think it's in hieroglyphics? Right? All these things is on the caves in Egypt. They've been doing this from the beginning, right? Go to Psalm chapter 96 right quick. What you got for you?
Oh, I was just looking at Ezekiel 36.
I thought you were gonna go back to Isaiah 4. Wait a minute. He can't wait for that day, boy. You better hope you make it through. Well, one of your wife might be living 10 miles away. You might can't make it. I'm coming, baby. I'm coming. Read it up.
The book of Psalms, chapter 96, verse 4. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods.
The Lord, fear our God above all gods. Read.
For all the gods of the nations are idols.
Every god of the other nations are straight idols, man. Read.
But the Lord made the heavens.
The Lord made the heavens. Read.
Honor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary.
This is what our God contains, man. Right? This is our God, man. Right? Any brothers got anything else?
What you got?
We were talking yesterday, and I was supposed to hit you back, but I didn't. It was the precept for Deuteronomy 22 and 28, and the part where they be found.
Yeah.
I was trying to. I know that you said one in Susanna.
Yeah.
History of Susanna, where she gotta holler out at.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, I'm asking a question. You said you talked to him yesterday. Did you talk today at Cal 101?
Yeah, we did, but this was he had given me precepts that I didn't get from him, and I was supposed to call him back, but I crashed out.
So how did you get the precept if you crashed out?
We were on the phone, but I didn't know where it was exactly.
History of Susanna, chapter 1 and verse 24. This is going into rape, basically. Verses 25 goes into rape, but verse 28 does not.
That's what we was.
Yeah, but it was the part where the being lawful of when they being found.
Calling out.
Yeah, the calling out part.
Read. Yeah, that is.
Nobody she enjoying.
Read this right quick.
You know, some of these sisters be having a fantasy. I want somebody to break into my house and come through my window. You talk about
Stop
this.
playing them damn games for the laws roll up for your
This role play or what?
Read that right quick. History Susanna, page 110, verse 24. The book of the history of Susanna, chapter 1, verse 24. With that, Susanna cried with a loud voice.
She did what?
Cried with a loud voice.
Because they was trying to assault the sister. You know, even how in 2 Samuel chapter 13, with David's daughter and his son. That's right. Read that again now.
With that, Susanna cried with a loud voice, and the two elders cried out against her.
So they cried out against her being wicked as hell. You know, but that's what sisters are supposed to do according to the law if they're getting assaulted. So make sure you cry out, help. So brothers can attend to that and beat the hell out of her brother. Break his back or something, man.
He didn't have rape 12 children.
Yeah, the brother, sister, Dinah.
Just the Benjamin.
Dinah.
Oh, okay. You don't want to fight talking about this, but go ahead.
I don't think it said she did. She died.
If we didn't give you the account,
That she did, yeah, sometimes.
She did. You know, if it don't say it, don't mean that she did. That's what we're trying to tell you.
So
What precept are you talking about, though? Make sure y'all give us a Bible verse.
Deuteronomy, Genesis 34.
Are you talking about Dinah?
Yeah. Oh,
No, Dinah, their sister, when they went to the land of Canaan. Yeah, Genesis 34 and verse 1. Any other questions before we get out of here? Go ahead.
Well, I guess it completes our Q&A, man. Hey, thank you, brothers and sisters, for tuning in. Like and share the video, helping to push the truth out of the four corners of the hurt. You said keep God's law, statutes, and commandments. I guess the commandment is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 19. Y'all brothers and sisters, y'all like and share the video. New Year coming up. Brothers and sisters better get ready to start getting that lemon out your house. Hey, Passover coming up. Hey, get your fees in. Hey, brothers and sisters, guess what? We still got to buy our t-shirts. But that's a lot of stuff, man. Guess what? That's why I thank the Lord. He give brothers and sisters, hey, you got to look at the income tax change. Go on, get your stuff, man. Get it out the way, man.
This is my cutoff today, y'all knew. The 15th, so it's cut off for the
Well, I talked to him this
what
morning.
he said? He gonna make an exception.
Now, Twin, I think y'all talked to him. Twin,
Give a lot.
Vlad, did you holler at me yesterday about that?
No, I tried to call him. He didn't answer.
Yeah, well, I talked to him this morning. I think today was the brothers that I got today. It was the last one.
But remember, if you don't get the garment, make sure y'all do get the shirts. Like we say, the green and gold collar shirts to be in order to some extent. Next time, like we say, I know brothers put it in the chat, but come tell brothers if y'all didn't have it. But I know we kind of said that.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all do that next time. Don't feel ashamed. Brothers could have helped out with no problem.
Right. Let's read that right quick. Deuteronomy 4:19.
Yeah.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 19. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun.
Hey, I hold y'all peace back there, man.
Deuteronomy 4:19. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon, and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, should it be driven to worship them.
Do what?
Should it be driven to worship them
Read.
and serve them, which the Lord, so like which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
Because all the nations, they chose them other gods, right? But read.
But the Lord hath taken you
The Lord had taken us. Read.
and brought you forth out of the land of Slacky, out of the furnace, out of the iron furnace.
The Lord called Egypt an iron furnace, man. Read.
So like even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day.
And this is the statue, man. With that, giving all honor and praise to the Most High and His Son, Yahushua. Shalom. Shabbat shalom.